we look at the back end of Jake Nevin Fieldhouse, longtime athletic facility here at Villanova University, awaiting the entrance of the LaSalle Explorers to the field to take on the St. Joe's Preps Hawks in a Philadelphia Catholic League District 12 classification game at the 6A level. You can call this game a lot of things. You can call this game a District 12 seeding game, a District 12 play-in game. I think the folks in the know call this game too early in the calendar. Let's bring you inside the broadcast booth. Bob Long, Tyler Kern, Jack Burns, Pat Burkhead, and Jack McGuire alongside. We say too early in the calendar because, yes, Pittsburgh Central Catholic is out west. Yes, Harrisburg has a great team, and they're looking to get to Cumberland Valley for a state championship. But on any given day in the state of Pennsylvania, these two teams may just be the best. St. Joe's Prep, after winning a tough game against LaSalle at this point last year, they go on and outscore everybody 159-20 en route to a state championship. Of course, that's a game where they played LaSalle. LaSalle driving. They get stopped on a fourth down in a one-possession game. So that sets the stage for this one. Let's turn it over to the first team All-Catholic from 2012, Tyler Kern. Your thoughts on this matchup of two arch rivals?
Yeah, I mean, you think of, Philadelphia Catholic League, you think of this rivalry. I mean, we've seen it all the last couple of years. I mean, last year, LaSalle pulled off an upset, I'd call it, in the regular season, quadruple overtime, and then they go to lose it in the playoffs. This feels pretty similar. LaSalle did win a little more handedly this time in the regular season, but you don't know what to expect today, and I think we're in for a good day of football.
Pat Burkhead with us as well.
Yeah, I agree with Tyler. I really don't know what to expect today, and LaSalle did win convincingly in the regular season, but you just know St. Joe's Prep is going to bring it today.
Jack Burns, we've seen LaSalle start to commit a little bit more to the run. We know that they can throw the ball around the yard. What's one key for this LaSalle Explorer team?
I think one key is to batten down on defense. Prep's got extremely good weapons in Jed Harrison. And the key is to lock down on that and also make sure they can score points on their incredible defense as well.
Jack McGuire is with us. Gavin Sidwar has put himself in very elite territory in the history of LaSalle quarterback play. What about him stands out, and what's on the line? What has he accomplished already in his career?
Yeah, these are all of Gavin Sidwar's LaSalle College High School football records. He broke John Harrison's all-time passing completions record earlier this year against Calvert Hall and Northeast High School. 2 weeks later, but only one game later, he broke Brett Gordon's all-time passing yards record against Roman Catholic at Widener University. 1 week after that, he broke another one of Brett Gordon's records. This time, it was the all-time touchdown passes record. Then, in the last game of the regular season against Father Judge at Ramp Athletic Complex, he broke the all-time passing attempts record, which was also previously held by John Harrison. Over his 4 years at LaSalle, Gavin has accomplished many records and milestones in the LaSalle College High School football record book, and he is not too far away from accomplishing more. He is 25 yards away from passing for 8,000 yards in his LaSalle career, 6 touchdown passes away from 100 career touchdown passes, as well as 7 touchdown passes away from breaking Brett Gordon's record of single-season touchdown passes. Congratulations, Gavin, on an amazing LaSalle career.
Yeah, it's been a great career for Gavin Sidwar. He's got more that he wants to accomplish here this afternoon. Not the only records that were broken, Tyler. Jet Harrison set the Philadelphia Catholic League regular season record for touchdown passes. He also set the District 12 record. So what he's done at St. Joe's Prep, who did he defeat for that? Marvin Harrison. 14 touchdown passes for Marvin Harrison and 19 this year for Jed Harrison. He defeated a member of the Cardinal Doherty football team from back in the mid-2000s that had 15 touchdown passes, receptions, I should say, in terms of a record being held there. And maybe I misspoke slightly because the city record is still holding strong, 20 touchdown receptions. And that is a regular season record, so that's all well and good, and that's in the past at this point. But the future for Jed Harrison, very, very bright. Tyler, what does he bring to the table?
Yeah, I mean, we see him out there. He's so crisp at his route runnings. He brings a lot of speed. I mean, we got to cover him twice this year, once against Roman Catholic and another against LaSalle, and he's just such an impact player out there. Obviously, runs in the family, no surprise there, but I don't know if people were expecting him to be that good this year, and he just really stands out, and he's someone you got to look out for today.
Yeah, he sure is. By the way, Rafael Rodriguez from Franklin High School back in 2014 that record holder with 20 touchdown receptions in a regular season. That's the Philadelphia city record. Mickey King from Cardinal Doherty in 2000 had 16, and Jet, of course, passed that. Charlie Folk will be throwing to him, Pat, and in terms of what Charlie Folk brings to the table, he's a good athlete. He's a great thrower of the football. He can spread it around the yard. What do you think is going to be the key for him to be successful this afternoon?
Yeah, I think finding Jet Harrison is always important, but they also have a lot of other great weapons like Kyan Billups, Alston Frisbee. He has a lot of people to throw the ball to, and like you said, he's very good at spreading the ball around. So if they can not only get the ball to Jet Harrison, but also hit their other receivers and running backs, I think they'll have a pretty dominant offensive showing today.
We got ourselves a great game coming your way here this afternoon. A lot of people to thank, and in particular, a couple folks that have stepped up and done a great job to put us in a position to call this game, thanks to Charlie Folk, Charlie Folk's father, who owns car dealerships all throughout New Jersey. A great man, a good family, and a great dealership. So what I'm asking you folks to do is support the folks that support high school athletics. In years past, this game has been behind a paywall, and thanks to great people like Charlie, we're bringing it to you live and in person here. So let's hear from one of Charlie's businesses, and we'll bring you back before kickoff again here on Bob Long Sports.
To trade at KiaofCherryHill.com, we're offering up to $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book trade-in value for your current vehicle. Get up to $3,000 more for your trade. But that's not all. Shop our massive selection of tariff-free Kias. Upgrade your ride today at KiaofCherryHill.com. That's KiaofCherryHill.com. Up to $3,000 above KBB is based on KBB excellent trade-in condition. Deductions apply for damage, reconditioning, excessive wear and tear, and above average miles.
The Adams Group are Philadelphia realtors with LaSallian roots. Keith Adams, class of '98, and Sean Adams, class of 2004, have over 30 years of combined experience selling homes in the area. Their goal is always to make the home buying and selling process as easy as possible for their clients. Reach out to Keith and Sean anytime.
Here are the LaSalle Explorers coming onto the field. A big LaSalle contingency here this afternoon from Villanova, just waiting to welcome these Explorers to the field. Coached by Brett Gordon in year number 2 at the helm. Last year they were 10-0 in the regular season. Their one and only postseason game was against the eventual state champion, St. Joe's Prep Hawks. That was a one-possession game, as we talked about at the jump. So this is really their first chance to get back at St. Joe's Prep in the game that really matters, a chance to advance to the district final. Send it over to Jack McGuire.
This year, the 5-4 St. Joseph's Prep Hawks, led by Tim Roken in his 7th season, got off to a rough start, starting the season 0-3, facing nationally ranked teams. This is the most losses a Hawks team has had in one season since 2011. They bounced back very well against Our Lady of Good Counsel and all their PCL opponents besides LaSalle. The 8-1 LaSalle Explorers, led by Brett Gordon in his 2nd season, have been phenomenal this year. They started the season off with 4 impressive non-league wins and defeated all their PCL opponents except Roman Catholic. Both teams have a very impressive history. According to Ted Solari and other sources, St. Joseph's Prep has won 24 PCL championships, 14 city championships, and 9 state championships. And as of last Saturday, LaSalle has won 16 PCL championships, 8 city championships, and 1 state championship. According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, when these two teams faced off for the first time this year, 2 key moments defined that game. Those were when LaSalle's temple-bound tight end J.P. Oates caught a 29-yard pass down the middle of the field in the 4th quarter between 2 Hawks defenders on a 3rd and 9 play at LaSalle's 25. On the next play, Sidwar hit Joey O'Brien for his 2nd touchdown, giving LaSalle a 31-13 lead with 10:17 left to play. The other Explorers dagger came when Owen Johnson adjusted to an underthrown pass for a 46-yard reception on 3rd and 13 from the LaSalle 7 with 6 minutes to play, eating more valuable minutes off the clock. Earlier this week, Roken said, "I feel like we have gotten better in all three phases, taking steps to reduce the penalties, improving on special teams, and getting better tackling, and being more consistent on offense. We need to make sure we execute our game plan. Like I said the last time these two teams faced off, both teams are looking for another state championship to add to their history this year. In the same game last year, the Prep ruined LaSalle's hopes of a state championship, defeating them 21-14. After that, St. Joseph's Prep ended up going the distance. The expectations LaSalle has coming into this game as 2025 PCL champions and 1-0 against Prep this year are to win this game and then go to the distance themselves. This is a revenge game for the Explorers."
Well, worth mentioning as well, Jack, that this LaSalle team is indeed Philadelphia Catholic League champions. Folks may look at this game and think it's a 6A Catholic League championship. It's just not the case because the Catholic League is made up of not just 6A classification. It's red division, blue division. Red division has teams from the 4A, 5A, and 6A classification. But they have to get to this weekend playing 6A on 6A in order to get into the state playoff bracket. So it becomes a regular season title for the red division. LaSalle won that in a three-way tie with Roman Catholic and St. Joe's Prep. They each beat and lost to the other. And based upon point differential, LaSalle came out on top. So yes, they have the hubcap, the old triple crown that people talk about. League title, district title, state title is on the line for LaSalle, and for St. Joe's Prep, they're trying to win 8 state titles in 10 years. So there is plenty on the line. As you look down at midfield with that V for Villanova in the middle, it's LaSalle wearing the gold helmets with the navy blue and the white numerals. St. Joe's Prep in the maroon helmets, the white up top with the gray numerals and the black pants. So here we go, folks. A big game coming your way from Villanova University. A couple more folks to thank. Another couple of people that have been a big part of putting this on the air, RMJ Mechanical, Jason Nitz, your source for plumbing and electrical at the Jersey Shore. I know there's a lot of people right now that are thinking about closing up those shore homes, or season is about to change. Go talk to Jason. He'll help with a consultation. He'll help take care of you. It's about to get some tough weather down there over the many, many months of the winter. So call RMJ Mechanical and Jason Nitz at 856-521-0774. Plumbing and electrical at the Jersey Shore. Also, Petrosky Physio, representing a significant advancement in sports rehab, using advanced technology, personalized care, and a one-of-a-kind culture for all athletes. With in-depth evaluation techniques and cutting-edge treatment models, their team gives athletes the optimal care returning from injury or surgery back to their sport. So it is a terrific thing that Petrosky Physio does. Also very terrific that they are supporting the Philadelphia Catholic League and supporting student athletes. We're thrilled to have them alongside as a sponsor, as well as RMJ Mechanical with Jason Nitz, who we just mentioned. Chris Carabello is on public address here this afternoon. He is giving the opening comments, and then we will keep it right here for the national anthem.
Our men and women in the armed forces and veterans of military service with the playing of our national anthem, performed today by the LaSalle Pep Band.
The LaSalle Pep Band will perform the national anthem. Time for kickoff here from Villanova University. And how fitting that on All Saints Day, I don't know if St. Ignatius or St. John Baptist de La Salle were big football fans necessarily, maybe a little bit before their time. But I think they'd be proud of where the two institutions are. I think they'd be proud of the young men that patrol the hallways, and they would be proud of these staffs molding young men. And it all leads to this moment. It all leads to this game here, a chance to take on the winner of the 6A level at the Public League in the District 12 Championship on November 15th. No doubt there are folks across the state that think of this as a de facto state championship. I don't think that's fair enough to Harrisburg Central Catholic and some of the teams up in the Lehigh Valley, but I do think that the winner of this game will have a lot to say late into November and in early December. Chris Heck will kick this one away. St. Joe's Prep won the opening coin toss and elected to receive. They want the football. A little bit of a windy day. LaSalle will be kicking with the wind. And the wait is over. We are underway, and St. Joe's Prep will start from the 20. Let's meet the starting offense for the St. Joe's Prep Hawks, and it's led by the junior Charlie Folk at the quarterback position, 6'2", 200 pounds, second-year starter. Getting better each week, says Tim Roken. Emphasis in the weight room on the offseason. Foot speed has improved. He'll be throwing to sophomore Jet Harrison. Leader in receiving yards the last 2 years. Broke his brother's single-season touchdown record for St. Joe's Prep just a few games ago. That's Kion Billups, the running back for St. Joe's Prep. He gets 10 yards, and they should move the sticks.
Yeah, Bob, coming into this game, senior running back Kion Billups, the Monmouth commit, has rushed for 649 yards on 146 carries and 6 touchdowns. He also has 9 receptions for 124 receiving yards. And
remember as well, last year he was expected to be primarily a reserve. Isaiah West, the all-world tailback, rushed for 70 yards last week for Ohio State as a true freshman. Got hurt early in the year, and Billups stepped up, took the role, and was the bell cow for St. Joe's Prep en route to a state championship. Folk flips this one out wide. It's caught by Alston Frisbee, who's wrapped up but falls forward. He gained 4 yards on first down. Frisbee had a breakout game against Roman Catholic, a game that they needed just to stay above water and stay in the Philadelphia Catholic League race. He can make guys miss, very good on the screens, and they'll continue to get him involved that way.
I think it's very interesting to see on the first 2 plays, Joey O'Brien has been lined up at cornerback up against Jet Harrison. We usually see him at safety.
That is a change from this year, but Harrison goes in motion, and so Aiden Christie picks him up on the boundary side of the field. They'll go right back to the running game. Amin Williams hit at the line of scrimmage, maybe gets 1 on 2nd down and 6, brings up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, I thought that was a good job there by Jamel Williams with his maintaining the hole there. There was nothing there for Billups, so just a great job by the defensive line.
Yeah, Tyler, that's the senior nose tackle, Jamel Williams, the U-Albany commit. Coming into this game, he had 42 tackles and 1 sack.
3rd down, line to gain is the 40. Zyke Scott showing pressure on the field side. Charlie Folk's going to step up and is taken down. Kyrie Mitchell, the sophomore defensive lineman.
We talked a lot about Caleb Davidson in last game against Father Judge, but there's his partner, Kyrie Mitchell, with a big-time play.
Yeah, and Patrick, the 2 very talented sophomores on the defensive line that we talk about all the time, Caleb Davidson and Kyrie Mitchell, had 14 tackles each and 1 sack each coming into this game.
Owen Johnson and Joey O'Brien were back deep there. O'Brien took charge. And now the LaSalle offense will come onto the field. Let's meet them. Grayson McHugh at the left tackle position, the Notre Dame commit. Chris Berneski standing at 295 pounds at 6'3". At left guard, Jacob Jackson slid inside from right tackle at the beginning of this year. He's done a great job at center. Andrew Sorge at the right guard position, and Danny Lawyer at the right tackle. J.P. Oates lines up at tight end. He'll flip out wide to the slot on this play. Joey O'Brien, Owen Johnson, Jimmy Mahoney, the primary receivers. That's Gavin Sidwar, the starting quarterback, and Joey O'Brien gets out past midfield into St. Joe's Prep territory with 6 yards on first down.
Yeah, Bob, coming into this game, senior quarterback Gavin Sidwar, the Missouri commit, has passed for 2,137 yards on 142 completed passes and 27 touchdowns. His favorite target is definitely Joey O'Brien, who he just threw to.
We'll see Azir Nelson at running back over the course of the day, but LaSalle comes out with an empty set, 5 wide on the first 2 plays. Sidwar over the middle. It got 2 hands on it, incomplete. Intended receiver J.P. Oates. That was quite the window that he was trying to fit that ball into.
Yeah, that was a bit of a dangerous pass, but like you said, Bob, hit Oates right in the hands, just a little behind him. Oates tried to adjust, wasn't able to come down with it, though.
I think that ball had to be behind him given where that safety was coming over the top as well. 3rd down, 4 yards to go, potential 4-down territory. The front 4 for St. Joe's Prep, Alex Haskell just flipped from Penn State to Syracuse with the departure of James Franklin as head coach. Colton Anderson also inside. Jason Nitz and Anthony Shuley on the edges, and they bring pressure this time. Gavin Sidwar extends with his legs and gets the first down. Needed 4 and got 6. We haven't seen a ton of that, but it's been teased that that's in his game when needed.
Yeah, I think we primarily saw him running against St. Joe's Prep earlier this year. He did a really good job of using his legs, not only to get down the field, but to extend the play to go for the deep ball.
Yeah, and Bob, you were just talking about Alex Haskell. When we broadcasted the first game between these 2 teams this year, he was a Penn State commit. However, he recently flipped to Syracuse. In an interview with Anthony Sorgi, Haskell stated that Syracuse was a close second in his decision-making process, and given the uncertainty at Happy Valley, he and his family ultimately decided that Syracuse was the better option.
We got another hook and lateral. It's the 3rd time that LaSalle has done it this year, and that was inside a phone booth. You got to be sure-handed on that one, and he got rid of it just in time.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it here on the replay. There is not much room there for a hook and ladder. That could have been taken the other way for 6, but instead, beautiful hook and ladder.
Yeah, and Bob, as a Penn State guy, I know you hate to see Haskell decommitting from there.
You know, I'm a bigger fan of the young men playing football in the Philadelphia Catholic League. It is so difficult to make decisions. We'll get more into that as the game goes along. They jumped, but got back onside. No contact with the offensive lineman. It was Haskell up front and Colton Anderson. 2nd down and 1. The sun starts to shine brightly here at Villanova. Easy pitch and catch for Owen Johnson. Running streaks elsewhere and a little dive route across the middle. The drag came from Owen Johnson, and that's too easy for Gavin Sidwar, who now has gone over 8,000 yards passing in his career at LaSalle. Already was his record for most total passing yards in a career as an Explorer, but just adding to that tally, another mountain never before climbed in the blue and gold. Sidwar on the lob. Tough ball, great coverage on the edge. Incomplete.
That was the 2nd time in a row they targeted Owen Johnson. And coming into this game, sophomore wide receiver Owen Johnson had 54 receptions, 558 receiving yards, and 9 touchdowns. One of those was from the Wildcat formation, so I'm eager to see if they try something like that again. We all know LaSalle has a bunch of trick plays up their sleeve like we just saw with the hook and lateral.
And that was Mason Talley on the coverage there. That was just amazing coverage. I don't know if he could have covered Owen Johnson any better. Sidwar gave it a chance there, threw a nice ball, even with the wind. And that's all Talley.
Mason Talley, the 3rd of 3 Talley brothers to go through St. Joe's Prep and play football. Flipping down the corner here today, mostly played safety coming in. Mahoney, good moves inside the 20. And here we go, an early decision. Well, third down for LaSalle. So how do you call this on 3rd and 5? Is it something where you try to go past the sticks, Tyler, or do you know that you have 2 downs to get after this?
Yeah, and another thing to consider is you are with the wind here. I mean, your offense is moving, so I would consider this 4-down territory. But the extra or the 3 going for the field goal isn't a bad call here either if you don't convert.
10 personnel, I think, for the first time here today. First time we've seen a running back alongside Gavin Sidwar, and it is Desmond Ortiz. So no sign of Ozzie or Nelson early on in this one. O'Brien's the man in motion. St. Joe's Prep brings pressure. It's a great route. Throw and catch to Owen Johnson. Touchdown, LaSalle.
And that removes any decision-making, just getting the touchdown on 3rd down. You mentioned Ortiz there. He did a great job of picking up the blitz, and Sidwar just delivers a strike to Owen Johnson.
Yeah, Owen Johnson's been great all season. He went from playing on the freshman team last year to stepping up into a huge role on the offense this year.
Yeah, now we get to see senior place kicker Chris Heck, who is 42 for 43 on PATs and 2 for 3 on field goals this year.
Seven 0 LaSalle, a great start for the LaSalle Explorers. Remember, St. Joe's Prep wanted the football. They won the opening toss, wanted the football, had to come off the field, punted the ball to LaSalle, and they go right down the field. Want to again thank a key sponsor, Charlie Folk III, for sponsoring today's coverage.
From Cherry Hill Mitsubishi, and the year-end sales event has officially begun. Like the 25 Mitsubishi Outlander with standard third-row seating and rates as low as 0% for 60 months, the choice is yours. Or the sporty 25 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross with standard all-wheel drive with rates as low as 0% for 60 months, the choice is yours. With America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000 miles, and 2 years free maintenance on all new Mitsubishis, the choice is yours. Located minutes from all bridges, stop in today and find out how easy it is to do business with Cherry Hill Mitsubishi.
Chris Heck, again with the wind at his back, this time a higher kick, end over end, returnable from about the 6. Messiah Acree took one back in the game last year on the opening kickoff to the 20. That sparked that entire St. Joe's Prep offense, led to a 1-score win. See if he can give some additional energy to the St. Joe's Prep offense. Jack Burns, what did you see on the first 2 drives of the contest?
I think LaSalle did a great job of containing Prep's first drive there, limiting them to behind the 50-yard, and LaSalle really coming out with an explosive first drive, just scoring a touchdown.
And I'll have more on that drive after the snap.
Back to Kion Billups. Makes one tackler miss, and it's Cooper Haylig to take him down, not before a gain of 5.
That last drive lasted 3 minutes and 41 seconds. LaSalle ran 8 plays for 51 yards. There's some key stats. Gavin Sidwar went 6 for 8 for 51 yards and a touchdown. Owen Johnson had 3 receptions for 32 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown play was Sidwar to Johnson, an 18-yard touchdown. Thank you to Mr. McCartney, who's here again today. He's been helping us all year with the stats.
Second down and 5. They'll go back to Kion Billups and ends up falling forward for a gain of 3. And thanks to our very own Jack McGuire, who prepared this here. Congratulations to Gavin Sidwar, who with that last drive, 51 yards, he needed 25 coming in to achieve 8,000 yards passing, most in LaSalle history.
And like you said, Bobby, he already had the most passing yards, but now it's just an awesome milestone.
An 8 looks better than a 7, that's for sure. Up front for St. Joe's Prep, Sean Molly at the left tackle, Sean Barth at left guard, Jake Namnunn, Dartmouth commit at center, Steve Landers and Dave Contreras on the right-hand side of the line. Flip this one out wide for Alston Frisbee. Made one miss, but it's all about Joey O'Brien knifing into the backfield. Ends up being Fandozzi coming over to make the play from the defensive end spot. And Tyler, that's athleticism all over the field.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but Joey O'Brien made a really critical tackle on that kick return as well. And he's just done a really great job on this drive.
He sure has, but that's my fault. Trey Hopkins, as you see that, kind of the number gets bunched up there. 3 and a 6, tough to tell. What's not tough to see, Pat, is what a great year he has had, and it forces another punt for St. Joe's Prep.
And that's Owen Johnson back to receive the punt. He averages 14.3 yards per punt on 8 returns.
He did a good job there, a line drive kick. That likely would have taken a St. Joe's Prep hop. So stops the momentum there of the football. LaSalle will start at the 29-yard line.
And Bob, Owen also took one back for a touchdown for 71 yards at William Tennant High School against Bonner Prendergast. He has only called for a fair catch 5 times this season coming into this game.
Well, make that a 6, and that was the right decision on that one with St. Joe's Prep bearing down. Linebacking core, we didn't get to that for St. Joe's Prep yet. Brandon Lockley, he can go pretty much anywhere he wants to as a junior linebacker, 6'2", 225. John Boggs, signal caller, was hurt earlier this year, but he's going to be an Ivy League player or something like that. Now a direct snap for LaSalle. Owen Johnson gets to the edge and takes a couple of yards.
And Jack mentioned it earlier, and we saw it there. Owen Johnson in the Wildcat. He's really dangerous with all that speed.
Well diagnosed there by St. Joe's Prep, though. Setting the edge. In the secondary, we'll see Brandon Ross, Messiah Acree, Mason Talley dropping down to the corner position. Dario Jaquez and Brendan Flaherty will be the high safeties. Ross, by the way, a big boy. He's got some beef to him, and he can slide into that Sam linebacker spot when he's not playing star with St. Joe's Prep in the nickel. Second down. After that gain of 4. Sidwar drops it underneath. Good strong hands there by Owen Johnson, but nothing doing. That is that physical Brandon Ross playing at the star position that we just mentioned.
Yeah, Bob, junior corner Brandon Ross, who has 3 offers to play in college, had 26 tackles, 1 sack, and 7 pass deflections coming into this game. And both teams here today have really talented defenses.
Jack Burns, an early, important 3rd down. You would think on the St. Joe's Prep side, the offense has not gotten going, and LaSalle's taken time off the clock and put yards on the field. They're up 7.
Absolutely. LaSalle's done a great job at stopping their St. Joseph's Prep momentum, and LaSalle's doing a great job at combating their defense.
Sidwar on 3rd down and 5, gets rid of the football. Good catch. Trying to make guys miss, and he's going to come up short. That's excellent defense by St. Joe's Prep.
Yeah, I mean, you can watch here on the replay. That's Jason Nitz. He had 2 guys blocking him. Ortiz went to crash down. Wasn't able to get it, so Ortiz kind of bounced out to the outside for an offload, but it just wasn't enough. That was a great defensive play.
And we don't see this often, but when Chris Heck does punt the ball, he averages 31.2 yards per punt.
St. Joe's Prep historically, Tyler, right? One of the best special teams units.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen plenty of blocked punts from this unit over the years. That's something you got to watch out for here.
They do bring the pressure. He gets it off well, and he was hit. He was hit. It's going to take a bounce back, but that doesn't matter. As we look back at this kick, he hits the plant leg.
I think the referee called holding on LaSalle.
Wow. Let's go back to this again. You can be the judge at home. Perhaps goes down just a little easy. So if holding is the call, then St. Joe's Prep, I would anticipate they take the yardage after the spot. But if you're trying for shock and awe and you feel like you almost got there, maybe you make them punt it again.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have some opportunities today if the defense keeps coming up like that to block the punt. I mean, that would effectively make this, what, a 5-yard punt if you accept the holding?
So they'll assess it from the end of the kick. LaSalle not happy with that call.
And that is brutal. Look at this field position. That was a 5-yard punt after assessing that holding call. And that's a punt with the wind, too. You got to take advantage there.
Tim Roken told me yesterday, we feel like we're right there, that we're going to get a punt block, and that they're going to take one back on special teams, by the way. Just a matter of time. Now Charlie Folk. Sitting down in the middle of coverage is the big tight end, Rob Novotny. Inside the 20 to the 15.
And that just felt like the spark that this offense needed.
Novotny, a 2-year starter, a Fordham commit. Versatile pass catcher. He's added more and more to his game as the years have gone on. Chima Auguste in there on the stop.
And as the season goes on, we've seen more of Chima Auguste.
Handoff to Kion Billups, runs into his own lineman and falls forward. Decent push there by the LaSalle defensive line. Steve Landers, number 78, was the guy who, unfortunately for him, caught the backside. He was a pulling right guard. That's gap scheme running there from St. Joe's Prep, pulling the big guy from the left for the right side to the left side. So 2nd down, 7 yards to go. Can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Line to gain is the 5. Kion Billups will play his football at Monmouth next year and joins Falk in the backfield. Austin Frisbee, the man in motion, and flags come in. Delay of game. So back them behind the 6, 2nd and 12 coming up.
Bob, we've heard Austin Frisbee's name a lot this year. That's the junior wide receiver who has 32 receptions, 530 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns coming into this game.
That is a brutal delay of game to take there. You had some nice momentum coming down here.
St. Joe's Prep spreads it out wide. Falk gets to his 3rd. Reed, he'll take off with it and now fire to the end zone. It's caught by Austin Frisbee. Extending the play, Charlie Falk for 6 for St. Joe's Prep.
And I feel like I spoke that one into existence.
That delay of game didn't matter at all. That was a great job by Folk. You know, JP Oates was brought down there, wasn't able to keep contained. Allowed Folk to fire one out there to a wide open Frisbee.
St. Joe's Prep has gone back and forth between kickers here this year. This is Luke Cochran. Cochran's biggest moment of the season was an extra point that he made in double overtime to beat Roman Catholic. He makes this one here to make it 7 apiece.
Yeah, and Bob, senior place kicker Luke Cochran is now 25 for 28 on PATs and 0 for 1 on field goals this year. And like you said, St. Joe's Prep has rotated 3 different place kickers this season.
Let's take a quick break and come back momentarily.
The Adams Group are Philadelphia realtors with Lasallian roots. Keith Adams, class of '98, and Sean Adams, class of 2004, have over 30 years of combined experience selling homes in the area. Their goal is always to make the home buying and selling process as easy as possible for their clients. Reach out to Keith and Sean anytime.
Special teams were a huge factor in the first contest between these two teams. That and a couple of costly turnovers for St. Joe's Prep. Well, early on in this one, advantage St. Joe's Prep on the special team side. They turned that into a touchdown drive to tie it at 7. This is returnable from the 5. Chima Auguste, he's running over guys. How about Chima Auguste? Growing into his role, struggled a bit in the first game of the season out in Pittsburgh, has slowly worked his way on, and that is a terrific run to start things on special teams.
And it looks like Azir Nelson is running onto the field for the first time this game. He's been so impressive this season and runs really hard up the middle for LaSalle.
Yeah, this year, junior running back Azir Nelson has rushed for 486 yards on 94 carries and 7 touchdowns. He also has 8 receptions for 60 yards. Jack Burns, I know that's your favorite player.
Oh, you got to love it.
In the pistol, they'll go to Azir Nelson, and he's dragged down. Dragged down by the linebacker, John Boggs. 1 yard gain on the play.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good play by Boggs. Nelson had some blockers in front of them there. It looked like a pulling guard, and just a big tackle there to save some yardage.
You talk about this group of linebackers from last year, Tyler, with Anthony Sacca playing his football at Notre Dame, with Cam Smith playing at Penn State. You think they're giving up a lot, and they sure are. But what Boggs has provided has been invaluable to this St. Joe's Prep team. Quarter break, let's send it over to Jack McGuire. Jack?
This week, in his weekly LaSalle football email, Mr. Wasilenko sent out a lot of interesting information. Here is a summary of that information, which includes a few exact words from Mr. Wasilenko. When LaSalle and St. Joseph's Prep meet on the football field, the rivalry often produces heart-stopping finishes and unforgettable moments. Over the decades, these two teams have battled in games decided by a single point, each one packed with drama, grit, and legendary plays. Here's a recap of the most thrilling one-point contest with full details on who won and how. In 1925, St. Joe's Prep won 7-6 on a snowy day, converting the extra point that made all the difference. The loss still sparked LaSalle pride, inspiring the school's fight song for Old LaSalle. In 1979, LaSalle pulled off a Thanksgiving Day shocker. Trailing by 1 with seconds left, they faked the extra point and threw for a 2-point conversion to win 15-14. In 1988, LaSalle overcame a 21-14 fourth quarter deficit with a fake punt and a clutch 2-point pass, securing a 22-21 comeback victory. And I'll finish that at halftime.
First play of the second quarter. 2nd and 9. Line to gain is the LaSalle 45-yard line. Sidwar keeps dropping back. Sitting down in coverage is John Patrick Oates. Got close to the line to gain. A big hit by St. Joe's Prep, but not before. It sets up a third down play. A young man who just flipped his commitment from Temple to James Madison University.
Bob, we've also seen J.P. Oates play a lot more on the defensive side of the ball this year. He has 21 tackles and 2 sacks coming into this game. I know you have talked about how a college coach had this crazy idea of offering J.P. Oates to come and play defense without J.P. ever playing a snap on defense.
Well, you know, I tell you what, now that film is there, isn't it, Jack? And I don't know what his role is going to be at James Madison, but defense could be part of it. And a flag comes in. St. Joe's Prep sideline loves it. Movement up front on 3rd and 1. Bear in mind, Tyler, it's seldom that this LaSalle team goes out of the under center variety, and that might have had something to do with that there.
Yeah, I thought that was a good call. It looked like the right guard there maybe just shifted a little bit, leaned his weight forward. I thought that was a good call by the refs.
Sure was. So
and
now 3rd down and 6 coming up.
And on the offensive side, senior tight end J.P. Oates, who, like you said, the James Madison commit, has 21 receptions, 300 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns. That was coming into this game. We've seen him catch, I believe, 1 or 2 balls this game already.
You said he had 21 tackles and 21 receptions?
I did.
Free blitzer, Sidwar. Tough ball. Good coverage by Boggs. I think that's physical defense. I think the flag should stay in the pocket. And St. Joe's Prep dialing up all the right things defensively. It's 4th down.
And it just feels like that punt just sparked a shift in momentum here today. I'm kind of holding my breath on this punt as well.
Yeah, Bob, that was junior linebacker John Boggs, who has 4 Ivy League offers to play in college, who has 43 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 blocked punt, and 1 interception coming into this game. Tyler, I know you just said you're a little nervous about a blocked punt here. Maybe we will see Boggs.
Yeah, Boggs has had a great game so far. Just on that drive, I think he had a tackle for loss and that pass breakup.
That's a much better punt. St. Joe's Prep scurrying to get away from it. Brandon Ross was closest to it. And that's a great punt. St. Joe's Prep, they're going to have to go a lot further this time to score.
Yeah, you hear those poison calls out there from the St. Joe's Prep side. That means to get away from the football. That was inches from being a disaster for the Hawks.
And you wonder if we'll see much of Jet Harrison on this drive. We haven't seen a lot of him today. And that's sophomore wide receiver Jet Harrison, who has 9 offers to play in college. Coming into this game, he had 47 receptions, 810 receiving yards, and 19 touchdowns. And it feels like we haven't seen him at all today.
Yeah, Jack, and I think Joey O'Brien's just done a great job on him so far this game.
Yeah, and you made that point at the very beginning of the game, and that's definitely something to look for as the game goes on.
Man in motion is the running back. Folk steps up. Folk avoids one, gets to the second level. They're trying to rip that football out, but not before a gain of 6. And Folk, again, it feels like we're watching last year's game, Tyler, with his ability to extend plays.
Yeah, Charlie Folk just really put the team on his back last year. That was a close game, a windy Saturday just like today. It does feel like a bit of deja vu.
That was a good tackle there by senior linebacker Cooper Halig, the Ohio State lacrosse commit, who had 59 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 fumbles forced, and an interception coming into this game. He's definitely somebody you don't want to run into.
J.P. Oates is lined up on the edge. They'll run it away from him, right into the big arms, though, of that LaSalle defense. And that whistle came quick because he was getting a push, was Billups, from behind from his offensive line. By the time they're blowing that whistle, I still think he's got some forward momentum there.
Yeah, I think they called it. He was pushed back a couple of yards at first, and then the reinforcements came to push him forward. So I think they saw that, shift in momentum and blew the whistle. But down there. Instead, this is a big third down.
Third down and a long 2. I get right to the 31 for a first down. They will hand it off, and he's got it. First down, St. Joe's Prep. Got 3 when he needed 2. And this is exactly the type of drive of your St. Joe's Prep that you want to get started with. Still pulling bodies out from the bottom of that pile. Zyke Scott, the terrific linebacker for LaSalle, is slow to get up.
Bob, some stats from St. Joe's Prep's scoring drive. It lasted 3 plays for 36 yards. The time was 1 minute and 27 seconds. The key stats, Charlie Folk went 2 for 2 for 38 yards. Folk to Frisbee, 17-yard touchdown.
Harrison is in motion. Folk with great protection. He's going to chuck it down the field. Frisbee got one hand on it and dropped the football.
And that's Aiden Christie on defense. We've seen him break up so many passes this year.
Yeah, Jack, he's been all over the field and very great in coverage.
Frisbee looked like he didn't expect it was coming to him, or it looked like a really good double move. I'm not sure which there. I thought he almost came down with that.
That's a heck of a ball. That's a heck of a ball by the quarterback. Rolling away from his strong side, turning his shoulders, getting his hips swung around. And that's a ball that probably, Tyler, has to be caught.
Yeah, like I said, it seemed like, I think it was more Frisbee not expecting it to come to him, maybe giving up on the route a little bit.
So LaSalle declined a penalty. It would have been a 5-yard penalty. Nice to have Mike's on the officials here today. It's when you know it's a big game.
Leaves out the guesswork for us.
Delay give up the middle. Kion Billups gets about half of it back.
Tyler,
3rd down and 5 coming up.
Tyler, you're pretty good at the guess game.
I am till I'm not. And that's impressive by Billups. I've seen teams really struggle to run up the middle this year. I think that delayed draw really let the blocks develop there.
Jack Burns, big play here. 3rd down and 5.
Absolutely. I think here, I think you go for a big pass to Jed Harrison. We haven't seen much in this game, and hopefully they will be able to make a connection in the pass.
I think part of the reason is you have a 5-star safety blanketing him in Joey O'Brien. What a matchup that has been. Folk, he's running out of time, and he's taken down. Ryan Fandozzi. And LaSalle gets off the field in a big way.
And Harrison was open there, too. Pocket collapsed just before he hit him on stride.
And that was the senior defensive end and fullback, Ryan Fandozzi, coming into this game with 40 tackles and 1 sack. And the energy he just showed after making that sack was amazing.
That was Dave Contreras getting beat on the right tackle spot. You don't see much of that. He's a young man that learned a ton in all those national-type games that St. Joe's Prep played earlier this year. He also played when Bleak Turner went down in the postseason last year. He got beat that time. Owen Johnson tiptoes his way out of bounds, and somehow he's the only one that avoided a big collision.
Yeah, it's just some hawk-on-hawk crime over there on the sideline. I don't know how he avoided that.
And we talked about the momentum switch earlier on the LaSalle punt that St. Joe's Prep almost got to, and I think there was a similar switch there on the Fandozzi sack.
Petrosky Physio, proud sponsor of the Philadelphia Catholic League, representing a significant advancement in sports rehab, using advanced technology, personalized care, and a one-of-a-kind culture for all athletes. With in-depth evaluation techniques, cutting-edge treatment models, the team gives the athletes the optimal care, returning from injury or surgery back to their sport. Quick throw underneath. Joey O'Brien just getting downhill. Pulled down. It looked like maybe by the face mask, a stray hand there by the defensive back, Brendan Flaherty.
Now with senior wide receiver and safety Joey O'Brien, the Notre Dame commit. On offense, he has 54 receptions, 834 receiving yards, and 13 touchdowns. That was coming into this game. Also coming into this game on defense, he has 35 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery.
Not much doing there. Second down coming up.
And Bob, that was senior running back Desmond Ortiz, the Brown commit, who has changed his position a little bit this year with Ozzie Nelson taking a bigger role. Coming into this game, Des Ortiz has rushed for 142 yards on 24 carries and 2 touchdowns. He also has 2 receptions for 43 yards and 1 touchdown. That came at Father Judge. And he would have had another one if that ref didn't make that amazing tackle near the end zone.
What a callback.
Oh, man. You're going to have to dig through the annals of Bob Long Sports for that one, folks. That is a deep cut. Second down and 9. Lob ball. That's unbelievable back shoulder. Good body control by Owen Johnson. And the trust that time, Tyler, from his quarterback, Gavin Sidwar.
Yeah, I mean, that's not an easy catch. Look, he is blanketed right here. He stops because he sees the ball's a bit behind him. Great ball by Sidwar. And that's into the sun as well. That's just a hard reception all around.
Mason Talley in there on coverage. We mentioned the third of 3 tallies. His brother Miles, class of 2018 grad, played his football at Sacred Heart. Julian Talley started his career at Penn, went the full route there, now doing a grad year at Nova. Of course, Nova not playing here right now. They're also on a bye, and so Julian in the building right now watching his brother. Joey O'Brien sits down in coverage again. Just find that spot in the zone. And LaSalle moving the ball down the field.
That didn't look like much of a play, but he just got an easy 7-yard gain there.
We've talked about the connection between Sidwar and O'Brien all year, and especially in a game like this, you want to know that your receivers are down there and you can trust them to get the ball.
That's a great point. He has been extremely trustworthy, more of that safety blanket than anything. But a safety blanket that can make some incredible plays and yet run after the catch as well. Ortiz gets right near the line. I think he has it. Needed 3, got 4. First down, LaSalle. Goal to go from the 6. John Boggs came in to make the play. Cleaning up on the back end was Messiah Acree. This St. Joe's Prep team in the secondary is without Samaj Hill. Hill, a West Virginia commit, out for, it could be, and we'll say likely will be the year, but Tim Roken hopeful on not taking it off the table if they were to make a deep run into early December, that he could come back in the semis or finals. Owen Johnson towards the goal line. The ball came out, but well after he was taken down. He's inside the 2 to about the 1-yard line.
Look at the confusion there that the Explorers create with Ortiz running down, faking the handoff, and Owen Johnson bouncing out to the outside there. Bit dangerous if that ball popped out. That's a touchback.
That was almost his second touchdown of the game. Owen Johnson's been very impressive this game.
Ball on the 1. Second down. 3 plays to get it. LaSalle so rarely goes under center. The last time they did, they false started. Ryan Fandozzi split out at halfback. He'll come in motion. And they lost the football, and St. Joe's Prep is on it.
I was really surprised to see Ortiz in that goal line situation there. You got your big-bodied back there, and Azir Nelson.
And the call has been made at St. Joe's Prep football, a type of play that a game swings on. 2 times they've gone under center, and it hasn't gone well either time.
Yeah, if I'm the Explorers, I am not going under center anymore.
And they haven't gone under center a lot this year. We usually see them in the
That's right.
shotgun, so I don't.
That's the idea.
And
But
that was
short down situations, though, Jack, is where you might go to that, and that is the question. Do you stick with the identity through thick and thin, or do you let the situation dictate where you go? And I think LaSalle's getting the question answered for them.
And even in the red zone this year, we've seen so many slant passes from Gavin Sidwar to receivers like J.P. Oates, Joey O'Brien, and Jimmy Mahoney.
And they will just push their way for 2 yards.
And it comes down to, if you're not under center much, that is such a timing thing, developing that relationship with your running back for Sidwar. Clearly the timing was off.
Yeah, and Tyler, like I said earlier, Desmond Ortiz hasn't been playing the role he played last year, with Ozzie Nelson taking a bigger role this year.
And a decent run on second down out to the 6. They've gained 5 on their first 2 plays. It's 3rd down and 5. And does LaSalle think at any point about burning timeouts? They're going to let this tick, and St. Joe's Prep is happy to oblige them on that. They're trying to get to the half. At least at this point, tied at 7. Move the sticks once, maybe twice, and that should do the job. Timeouts and all.
If the Hawks don't convert here, though, this will lead up to a pretty stressful punt for them as well. Not a whole lot of room back there for the punter.
And St. Joe's Prep will call the timeout. Another one there where you wonder, would LaSalle have considered, given the challenge that St. Joe's Prep has had moving the football, would you have called the timeout at the beginning of that 40-second play clock? St. Joe's Prep happy to let it run down for 40 seconds and call it at 1:27. This portion of today's game brought to you by RMJ Mechanical. Owner Jason Nitz can be reached at 856-521-0774. Why would you want to talk to Jason? Well, because he's going to take care of all your plumbing and electrical for your shore home. They focus in southern New Jersey. I know a lot of folks from the LaSalle side and the St. Joe's Prep side have enjoyed themselves at Ocean City High School for games at Carey Stadium over the years. So when you're talking about your shore home, you need plumbing, you need electrical, reach out to Jason Nitz and support the people that are supporting high school athletes. He's a big part of the reason that this game is on free for all to watch. 3rd down and 5. They'll go to the air. He's got good protection. He's got all day. And he goes down. It's really close to a safety, but I think it's properly spotted by the officials. Now LaSalle calling timeout. Brett Gordon getting his wind sprints in on the near sideline.
Folk had a huge gap to run up on his right side there.
Boy, that is close, isn't it? The thing to consider, and we don't have our down the pylon cam, he has to get that entire football beyond the goal line. The entire football. Where does he go down? And I think he did just by a fraction. But again, same concept when you're trying to score a touchdown, right? All you got to do is get the tip of that ball to hit the goal line. On this count, when you're trying to get it out of the end zone, you have to get the entire football to be spotted at the 1. Otherwise, it would have been a safety.
And we've talked about St. Joseph's Prep ability to block the punt all day, but here's a golden opportunity for the LaSalle special teams to make a huge play.
This is not going to be a long punt.
Owen Johnson with his heels at the 40.
I mean, the punter has basically no room to back up anymore.
This is one of those punts that you get that you're just trying to get it out there as quickly as possible. I think you're going for speed rather than distance.
Luke Cochran will punt it away for St. Joe's Prep out of the timeout.
And the Hawks are really fortunate that they have the wind with them here as well. With the wind like this could be a 10-yard punt if they were going the other way.
And this season, threw 8 punts for Luke Cochran. He's averaged 32.3 yards. We definitely won't see that type of punt here.
Nearly got there. Johnson lets it take a hop and picks it up from the 40. Johnson will take it to the 26, shoved out of bounds there. And so when you think about the middle 8, when we say middle 8, last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, the analytics gurus are all over that middle 8. LaSalle, they had a chance to score. They fumbled at the 1, but they can make a lot of wrongs right here, Jack Burns. A lot of the reason that they got the ball at the 25 is, quite frankly, where they turn the ball over at it. They can make a lot wrong, turn it into a right here with a score inside a minute.
Absolutely. They did a great job of containing that offense and making them end up punting the ball and getting the ball back to hopefully go for a touchdown for them.
Tire playbook is open here as Ozzie Nelson bounces off 1 and is taken down. It's a loss of 2.
More importantly, that clock is running. When you think about that 40-second runoff, I know you got 2 timeouts, but
they don't huddle up. They're looking to the sideline now. And Sidwar is taking his time.
they're wasting a ton of clock.
Now more than 30 seconds since they snapped the last play. Zings it over the middle. Desmond Ortiz inside the 10. Clock will stop momentarily as they move the chains. And they'll take that opportunity to call the timeout.
And that's 2 tackles in a row we've seen from Brendan Flaherty.
It's a big-time catch, Pat, from your running back out of the backfield, Desmond Ortiz.
Yeah, and he's just so great in the passing game. You know, we saw another catch like that up the middle last game against Judge. It reminded me a little bit of that. And if he broke one more tackle, he could have gone all the way.
And to talk more about senior defensive back Brendan Flaherty, coming into this game, he had 21 tackles, 1 field goal block, and 1 extra point block. And Bob, that is the cousin of LaSalle basketball player Patrick Flaherty, who you'll get the chance to announce in the winter. And I know we're looking forward to basketball season once football season winds down.
Wow, you talk about a holy war there. There you go. St. Joe's Prep and LaSalle crossing.
I think of Ortiz, and I really like what I've seen from him in this passing game. I was really surprised when I only heard he had 2 receptions coming into this. He seems like such a natural receiving back.
Hurt for a good portion of the year as well, at least the early part. So now 1 timeout for LaSalle, 1st and goal, final 30 seconds of the first half.
I don't think they're going under center.
Sidwar, touchdown, Owen Johnson. Big play, a momentum swing.
This might be an Owen Johnson legacy game today here. The sophomore has come to play.
A game full of momentum swings, Bob.
Chris Huffman will attempt the extra point.
14-7, and you think about football is not a game of perfect. Any coach will tell you that. LaSalle fumbles it at the 1. Do you hang your head? It's a team that's been the thorn in your side for a decade and a half. No, you get off the field on defense, you come back down the field, and you score with less than 30 seconds to play in the half. Tyler, that's intestinal fortitude there, and exactly what head coach Brett Gordon in his second year preaches.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first thing I looked at when they fumbled that ball was Sidwar. He was fuming, and you could tell that man is a competitor, and given the opportunity to right any wrongs, he surely did there with that incredible pass to Owen Johnson.
And before we get the halftime stats, here are the first quarter stats. LaSalle rushed for 11 yards, passed for 51, making their total yards gain 62 yards. On the other hand, for St. Joseph's Prep, they rushed for 21 yards, passed for 34 yards, making their total yards gain 55.
That's really interesting because I think about it. It feels like LaSalle has marched more down the field today. St. Joe's Prep on their 1 score had a pretty short field, so that's really interesting to hear that the yardages are not too different.
Yeah, and on that last scoring play by LaSalle, it lasted 3 plays for 26 yards for 41 seconds. Gavin Sidwar 2 for 2 for 28 yards. Sidwar to Johnson 7-yard touchdown pass.
Messiah Akery spins And LaSalle has them bottled up. That's also taking a ton of time off the clock. That's an 11-second return.
Made some really cool spin moves, though.
Yeah.
Acree's pretty dangerous on the kick return. I like the move to go with the squib there to just give LaSalle a lot of time to get down the field and make sure nothing crazy happens.
I'm also going to throw the challenge flag. Maybe at half we can get an update on those yards. What were those yards again, Jack?
From what? Which one?
St. Joe's Prep compared with LaSalle?
From the first quarter.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it was.
Got
and
it.
then I'll give you guys the
There you go.
first half stats at halftime.
I think we'll see a big chasm at that point.
And Bob, we have not seen many shots taken by junior quarterback Charlie Folk IV, who has 9 offers to play in college. Coming into this game, he has passed for 1,868 yards on 120 completed passes and 12 touchdowns. He also has rushed for 46 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Timeout on the field. Charlie Folk III, big part of us getting this broadcast on the air. Charlie's dad, of course, great man, good family, runs some local car dealerships, and took this from what could have been a pay-per-view to a game free for all to see. Thanks. So LaSalle calls timeout with 14 seconds left. Their final timeout to try to get a sense for what St. Joe's Prep is going to do offensively. And St. Joe's Prep instead decides to kneel the football. They will be kicking off to LaSalle to begin the second half. Jack Burns, a quick thought on the first half here. 14-7 LaSalle going to the break.
I think this was a great first half on both ends. Both these teams came out with electric offensive and defenses, and it's really just been a coin toss. You know, it's a battle after battle, point after point, and I think we're going to see that for the rest of this game.
Pat Burkhead?
Yeah, I think LaSalle had a great first half, but you know, just like last game, St. Joe's Prep is going to come out in the second half, and they're going to give it their all and try to get the win. So Brett Gordon needs to be telling these guys to stay locked in and not take their foot off the gas pedal.
And some first half stats that just came to me. LaSalle rushed for 14 total yards, passed for 126, making their total yards gain 140. St. Joseph's Prep, on the other hand, rushed for 32 yards, passed for 40 yards, making their total yards gain 72 yards. So, in comparison, St. Joseph's Prep has rushed for more yards, but LaSalle has passed for way more yards. I think in the second half, we're going to see a lot more of the passing game from St. Joseph's Prep. Although, like you said last year, Bob, the running game was the key in the playoffs for St. Joseph's Prep. So, kind of at a loss. I'm not sure what we'll see in the second half, but I know it'll be a great show.
Sean Adams from Compass Group supporting this broadcast. Also, helping with the St. John's Wildcats, we have a score update. Coached by Joe Winning, LaSalle class of 2003 won 23-0 in their first round playoff game today. No doubt they're heading home right now and turning on the LaSalle Explorers. So congrats to Joe and particularly Sean, who's supported us. You'll see a little bit about Sean and his business, and then we will thank some of the folks that have been with us all year long. Appreciate the Catholic League allowing us to do this as well. Give them a little bit of love for making Bob Long Sports what it is. But Sean, as well as Charlie, Petrosky Physio, and RMJ Mechanical. Big parts in getting this particular game live and free for all to see. Stay with us. It's halftime.
The Adams Group are Philadelphia realtors with LaSallian roots. Keith Adams, class of 98, and Sean Adams, class of 2004, have over 30 years of combined experience selling homes in the area. Their goal is always to make the home buying and selling process as easy as possible for their clients. Reach out to Keith and Sean anytime.
We're here to show you a better way to spend your state income taxes and get the money to where it's needed to most to the thousands of qualified kids.
What we like about Blocks is they really know where the need is.
This program ensures that their dollars come 100% into these kids for their tuition assistance.
If you are able, Blocks makes the EITC piece go very quickly and very smoothly.
Turn your PA state tax liability into need-based scholarships and receive a 90% tax credit.
Dunphy Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue.
Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
My name is Patrick Donahue, a franchise consultant with FranChoice, the premier network of franchise consultants in America. FranChoice is a company that helps people find a franchise business that's the perfect fit for them. We work with the people who want to own a business but don't really know how to find one that's both a top-notch opportunity and a great match. We specialize in franchise opportunities with the following 3 characteristics: low investment, high margin, and rapid break-evens. The best thing about our service is that it's free to the public. We're paid by franchise companies for this service. The process is simple. First, we do an introduction. Then the candidate provides me with information. We have a consultation based on that information, and we build what's called the model. Once we have that model, we'll share that with 3 great opportunities that match your criteria. I will follow up with you through the entire process. Obviously, the best opportunities fit the criteria mentioned above, and the right way to find those opportunities is to spend some time with the people who work with the very best franchise companies looking to expand in your local area. I'm humbled by your consideration, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Meet David and Kay-May, a dynamic team with a shared mission to help you turn your real estate dreams into reality. What sets them apart? Their wealth of experience, combined with a genuine passion for guiding clients every step of the way. They believe everyone deserves personalized attention, fair treatment, and expert advice throughout the process, ensuring your journey is smooth and successful. David and Kay-May go above and beyond to meet your needs, ensuring expectations are not just met, but exceeded. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned investor, their personalized approach and commitment to service make every real estate journey smooth and rewarding. Contact them today to get started on your next real estate adventure.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
So, it's time for your business to renew your lease. Or perhaps you're right-sizing or relocating. This can be an exciting time, but it's also a major project to undertake. Hundreds of decisions to make, some of which may impact your business for the next decade. You know you need an expert on your side from start to finish. What if this expert had no conflicts of interest, no landlords to answer to, and a fiduciary responsibility to work solely in your best interest? Someone who knows the questions to ask, the levers to pull, the pitfalls to avoid. Enter the experts at Gola Corporate Real Estate. They've seen it all over the course of thousands of transactions in dozens of industries. Gola gets it. And what if those experts came with a team? subject matter experts to manage everything that comes with this process: space planning and design, relocation planning and budgeting, helping you manage your vendors, construction oversight, all with zero out-of-pocket cost to you. A turnkey experience that adds real value that flows right to your bottom line. Gola gets it. We've been partnering with clients like you for over 40 years, and we know what's important: solving problems, creating flexibility, protecting and stretching your dollars. Philadelphia-based with a national presence. Get to know Gola. Gola gets it.
At Burns Design Group, our passion for visual and literary design forges powerful, lasting brands, from nonprofits and small businesses to Fortune 500 companies. We create and refresh brands from the ground up and inside out. We transform culture. We drive growth, profitability, and market leadership. We are a group of hands-on veterans who hold more than 150 years of brand strategy and design experience. Burns Design Group. What's next? By design.
Next Play Basketball is the largest AAU program in the greater Philadelphia area. Next Play also offers camps, clinics, and private training for boys and girls, 3rd to 12th graders. They teach the Next Play mentality to help athletes have success on and off the court. Next Play coaches focus on each player's development through high-level coaching and a competitive environment. If you would like to join the Next Play family, go to nextplaybasketball.com for more information. They will be hosting spring tryouts starting in January. Welcome back, everybody, to Villanova Stadium. LaSalle, St. Joe's Prep in another classic brewing. So thrilled to have 3 students with us here, all from LaSalle High School, all part of the broadcasting club, and we're glad they want to make some time with us here on Bob Long Sports. So we have Pat Burkhead, Jack McGuire, and Jack Burns, and guys, I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah, Bob. So first, continuing from Mr. Wasilenko's email, in 1999, LaSalle rallied from a 21-7 halftime deficit, but missed a tying extra point, allowing Prep to escape with a 21-20 win. In 2005, LaSalle broke a 7-year losing streak against Prep in Coach Joe Calistra's final game. After tying the score in regulation, they blocked Prep's overtime extra point to win 14-13. In 2012, LaSalle and Prep traded touchdowns in a back-and-forth championship battle. Prep missed an overtime extra point, and LaSalle converted theirs to win 28-27 and claim the Red Division title. In 2015, LaSalle trailed 28-17 entering the fourth quarter. With less than a minute left, quarterback Chris Ferguson connected with Nick Ranella at the goal line for a touchdown known as the catch, giving LaSalle a 29-28 victory. In 2024, the teams went into 4 overtimes after being tied at 14 after regulation. After Prep scored and converted their extra point in the 4th overtime, LaSalle answered with a touchdown and a daring 2-point jet sweep pass from Joey O'Brien to Des Ortiz, who caught the ball inches above the turf to win 35-34. These nail-biters prove one thing: when LaSalle and Prep collide, expect a shootout and maybe a 1-point miracle. Could it be another 1-point miracle victory today? Only time will tell. Mr. Wasilenko said, "Bill, thank you so much for sending out very valuable information every week. Now, here's an update of all the PCL teams in the postseason. Yesterday, Cardinal O'Hara defeated Archbishop Ryan 44-21 in Springfield, Pennsylvania in the PCL 4A semifinals, and Bonner Prendergast beat Archbishop Wood 28-0 in Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania in another PCL 4A semifinal matchup. Today, Lansdale Catholic faces off against Auden Reed at Germantown Supersite at 1 p.m. in the District 12 2A finals. Newman Goretti plays Conwell Egan at Cardinal O'Hara High School in the PCL 3A classification finals at 1 p.m. and Roman Catholic takes on Father Judge at Conwell Egan at 1 p.m. in the PCL 5A classification finals. Jack and Pat, what are your game picks? First, for the Lansdale Catholic and Auden Reed game, give me your winner and your score predictions.
I think Lansdale Catholic's been very impressive all season. I'll take them by a few scores. I'll go 28-7 LC.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Pat on that. I believe Lansdale will win this game, and it'll be a close score. Don't exactly remember what I said, but...
Yeah, give me Lansdale Catholic 35-0. Jack and Pat, what are your picks for Newman Goretti and Conwell Egan?
I think this one will be a little bit closer. I think Newman will take it by a score of 28-21.
Yeah, I believe Newman will also win that game.
I feel like an outsider here, but give me Egan 14-7. And last but not least, what are your guys' picks for Roman Catholic and Father Judge?
I think Roman Catholic will pretty easily win that one.
Yeah.
Maybe 49-0.
Yeah, I think Roman's got that game in the bag. I believe they're going to win that.
I had my score prediction as 63-7. I mean, Father Judge hasn't proven much this year, and Roman Catholic has proven a lot. They're really good on offense, really good on defense. Now, this amazing stadium we're in, according to Villanova Stadium was built in 1927 and has a seating capacity of 12,500 spectators. It hosts a variety of sports, including football, men's and women's lacrosse, men's and women's track and field, and intramural activities. The stadium features an AstroTurf playing surface that is lined for both football and lacrosse. The playing field is known as Goodrow Field, named in 1930 in honor of Leo Goodrow, a Villanova football player who tragically died during practice. Surrounding it is the Elliott Track, which was dedicated in 1980 to legendary Villanova track and field coach James Jumbo Elliott. Villanova Stadium has hosted several major events, including the Big East Outdoor Track and Field Championships more than 25 times, the Big East Women's Lacrosse Championship in 2017, the NCAA Final Four in 2013, and the Big East Men's Lacrosse Championships 6 times. In 1999, the stadium underwent renovations that added a new press box, as well as a golf and rowing locker rooms on the first and second floors. Jack and Pat, I know this is your first time being here. What are your thoughts on the stadium?
Yeah, it's really beautiful. You know, we can see their basketball stadium across the way, and the field is just, it's huge. It's very nice, and I'm just very happy to be here. So thank you to Villanova for letting us broadcast here.
Yeah, I agree with Patrick. It's real nice here. They got such a nice campus. I never have been on it before today, and it's just such great being here in this box from this view we got of the field and of this great game.
I'm actually a very big Nova guy, as Pat knows. So I've been here before, but not as many times as my great uncle has been here. He ran track and field here, so shout out to Uncle Owen. Pat, I know you are a big St. Joe's University guy, so it must be rough for you to be here.
You know, St. Joe's doesn't have a football team, so at least we got that. But we beat Villanova 2 years in a row in basketball, so we're good there.
I think Villanova's going to come for that little streak you have up in your brain there. So this year,
yeah, we'll
Coach
see.
Willard, new season.
We will see, Jack.
All right. Well, now that we got the trash talk out of the way, why don't we turn our attention to the second half? But before we do, again, we talked a lot about the specific sponsors that brought today into vogue, and we will continue to talk about those folks: RMJ Mechanical, Petrosky Physio, Sean Adams, Charlie Folk. But we also, you brought it up, Pat. You brought up the pavilion right across the way here. So let's talk about Joe O'Brien Roofing, because when they put together the Finn, I have a great time at the Finn. I'm a season ticket holder at the Finn. Boy, if they would have just raised that thing, R-A-Z-E, taken that roof down and built a real roof with our boy Joe O'Brien, make that a bowl. Unfortunately, the Township of Radnor wanted nothing to do with it. But that's okay. So we wanted to let all the folks know that if you are looking to do a new roof, residential, commercial, etc., Joe O'Brien would be the one to do it. Call him at 215-267-0883. E&M Insurance has supported us all year long. They're a a property and casualty insurance firm, residential or commercial, and he can help you as well. Chris Marr, class of 1989, very involved with LaSalle, very involved with us. We appreciate him and what he's done. Riley Rakowski and Malloy Funeral Home. Andrew Buda Rakowski, an enthusiastic supporter of what we do here, sends his best to the entire LaSalle football program, including his classmate, Brett Gordon. Ballard Dermatology, Dr. Mary Griffin can help you detect early cancer with early cancer screening, potential skin cancer issues. She can help you with that and other options to help you love your skin. Visit her online at balladdermatology.com. And then finally, our friends at the Great American Pub, Chuck Kempshire, proud sponsor for many years. Great spot to go watch the football game. Of course, you all know Blocks as well. We will crown our Blocks player of the game. Go to Blocks where you can turn your PA tax liability into need-based scholarships to support your local Catholic school and receive a 90% tax credit refund for doing so. Visit blocks.com/tax credit for more. And stay tuned for today's Blocks Player of the Game. So 12 minutes are on the clock. Once more, we're going to tell you about our good buddy Charlie Folk, who helped to make this game possible, and let you know about one of his dealerships. Second half about to get underway. We talk about the middle eight. LaSalle scored in the final minute of the first half, and they will get the ball to start the third quarter. Owen Johnson back deep to receive. Luke Cochran bangs this one towards the end zone, and it takes one hop into the blue turf of the Villanova end zone.
And that first half proved one thing for me. This rivalry is so great. This is the 106th time these two rivals have faced off against each other, and the second time this year. According to Bill Wasilenko, the first time these two teams went to battle was in 1915. That game ended in a 0-0 tie. As we know, the game earlier this year ended with LaSalle on top, which brought St. Joseph's Prep's all-time record against LaSalle to 39, 62, and 5.
Bill's going to love you, Jack. He gets more run with you than anybody. That's good stuff. Bill Wasilenko, LaSalle football historian.
I wish I could have been there for that 1915 0-0 game. That sounds like a...
And I think we all remember how that one turned out. Yes, that's right. First down and 10 for LaSalle. Oates in that pure tight end position. They go 11 personnel, and Sidwar. Good throw and catch. Joey O'Brien.
And if you guys remember the first game that these two teams faced off last year, it was on track for a 0-0 game until the fireworks happened.
That's a nice route combination there, Tyler. As you see the outside receiver go long, Joey O'Brien just replaces him on a little route to the sideline. Trying to get the running game going with Azir Nelson. Banged down at the 47. First down, LaSalle.
There he is. Really good to see Azir Nelson. That was a really nice move he did to get the first down there. Nice little hurdle.
Yep, inside zone there. Really wasn't the lineman going down the line, Tyler, towards the boundary side. It was just Azir Nelson. That's his goal, to figure out where the gap is going to be and hit it. And he just kept going east-west until he saw the opportunity. Drops it off for Desmond Ortiz. He's pulled down by Brandon Lockley. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. The ball came out, but the officials had Desmond Ortiz down. Let's take another look.
Yeah, as you can see, they're really trying to get Des Ortiz into this passing game. Looked like he was down to me.
Yep, I think well down there. Good call by this officiating crew. Lockley, a young man that will play football pretty much wherever he wants. We talked about the linebacking core. He becomes the leader along with John Boggs on this group, with Anthony Sacca playing at Notre Dame and Cam Smith playing at Penn State.
Yeah, Bob, junior defensive back Brandon Lockley, who has over 20 offers to play in college, coming into this game had 50 tackles, 2 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. And over 20, it's actually 24, and the offers keep coming in for that young man.
Underneath for Oates, trying to get towards that line. It's going to end up 2 or 3 yards short. He takes down the bench on the sideline. Messiah Acree with a little nudge towards the sideline.
You really don't have that much room between the sideline and the track here. That could be kind of dangerous.
Yeah, and it really wasn't Acree, actually. For St. Joe's Prep, it was Brendan Flaherty, number 33, that gave the final shove. I think 4 down territory here for LaSalle, given where they are in the field and where they are in the game. And perhaps you call it with that in mind. 4 wide, 10 personnel. They'll go to the ground game. Ortiz, first down. How about Jacob Jackson, the center, Tyler? Just getting downhill. That was first contact with Jacob Jackson 5 yards down the field.
Yeah, look at this blocking up front there. Ortiz has a really nice hole, does a really good job of anticipating it, hitting that hole hard, and that's an easy first down.
Maybe 5 was a little aggressive. About 3 yards down the field where Jackson ended up making some contact with Ortiz, but that's following your blocking. Go right back to Des Ortiz. Brandon Lockley on the tackle, gain of 3. And it feels to me like coming out of the break, there's not a ton of juice in the building. I think LaSalle's okay with that. Run their cadence, taking time off the clock, meandering down the field. And if they can put a touchdown in play here, you're looking, Jack Burns, at a team in St. Joe's Prep that's had trouble moving the football consistently, down at that point by 2 scores.
Absolutely. They have been having trouble all game, but, that still does not rule them out. They're still a great opponent, and this game could really be anyone's.
Screen ball. Owen Johnson makes 1 miss, can't make a second miss. Danny Lawyer in there trying to get the block, but it's a great play by Brendan Flaherty, continuing to put himself in the mix.
And some first half individual stats first for the Explorers. Gavin Sidwar went 13 for 15 for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. Owen Johnson had 7 catches for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. Joey O'Brien had 3 catches for 27 yards. For St. Joseph's Prep, Charlie Folk, 4 for 5 for 34 yards. Kion Billups, 7 carries for 31 yards. And Austin Frisbee, 3 catches for 13 yards and a touchdown.
Thanks, Jack. There is 3rd down and 13. Owen Johnson has it again. First down, LaSalle. He beat Brandon Ross. We slowed down the last replay to show you what a great play Ross did to beat Danny Lawyer, the right tackle. Well, this time Owen Johnson says, I'm just going to beat you down the field. The speedy Ross could not keep up, and it's a huge conversion. Sidwar. That's pretty good coverage there. Even if that's caught, Messiah Acree in coverage stands over J.P. Oates, and Brett Gordon is out on the field. We're going to let you guys decide at home. Right there, putting the sword away, whether you think that's appropriate standing over a wide receiver or tight end.
And now we get to see Josh Simmons, who has 172 rushing yards on 37 carries.
I like Acree's game a lot. He's super talented. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. His coaches and teammates love him. At one there, you see that all the time. You just don't want him to do it standing over somebody. Good run there on 2nd down. 3rd down and 7 coming up. Line to gain is the 5.
Yeah, I always like the passion that defensive backs usually bring. I mean, it's a tough gig, and that was perfect coverage on J.P. Oates there. But, that's something that's been called at pretty much all levels. So it's just something you got to be careful with.
And another talented senior defensive back for St. Joseph's Prep is Colton Anderson, the Cornell commit, who coming into this game had 24 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 sacks.
The comp for Messiah Acree, by the way, John Reed, who played at St. Joe's Prep years ago, ended up having a great career at Penn State. Big 3rd down. One of the plays of the game thus far. Incomplete. St. Joe's Prep had him bottled up. That's terrific coverage. And LaSalle will have a decision to make. Are they comfortable from 29 yards away? They will send the kicking unit onto the field. Chris Heck will attempt this one from the center of the field, just shy of the 20.
And like I said earlier, Chris Heck this year is 2 for 3 on field goals. He has made a 26-yarder and a 32-yarder, so this is right in between the two of them.
Chance for the first 2-score lead of the afternoon. Heck has plenty of leg, and he drilled it. Hello to the folks getting concessions. And by the way, I don't know what happened there on our scoreboard, so we'll get that adjudicated. 17-7. LaSalle now leads over St. Joe's Prep. I think that would have only been a couple of minutes, but sorry again about that. There's our boy David Navo on the camera. Just letting folks know that our scoreboard matches the digital Daktronics board here at Villanova. Folks, it's time for America's Game. It's time to play Where You At, a postseason edition of Where You At. Let us know where you're watching the game from, and we'll look to give you a shout out on the air. Also, while you're with us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Doesn't do anything, doesn't sign you up for anything, doesn't cost you anything. It just helps us continue to do what we do, hopefully come up in your algorithm a little bit more as we continue to showcase high school student athletes at the height of their competition. What a game we have here. Perhaps the two best teams in the state of Pennsylvania. You like whoever wins their chances to make a deep run in the PIAA state playoffs. Heck kicks this one, and it is returnable for Messiah Acree from the 5. Acree spins out to the 24. I know we were talking about John Reed as his comp. How's this for a comp? Messiah Acree came in day one and says, I want to be a running back at St. Joe's Prep. Coaches said, great, we'll take it under advisement. About 30 seconds later, he's playing defensive back. John Reed did the same thing. Came into St. Joe's Prep, wanted to be a running back. Clearly his skill set, well used at the defensive back position. Played high-level power 5 at the time, football for Penn State. Hand off to Kion Billups. Sized up and dropped by Cooper Halig. You talked about it earlier in the contest, Jack, playing his lacrosse at Ohio State next year.
Yeah, and on that last drive by the Explorers, it lasted 12 plays and 5 minutes and 17 seconds. The Explorers gained 68 yards. Some key stats from that drive. Gavin Sidwar went 5 for 7 for 45 yards passing, and Chris Heck ended the drive with a 29-yard field goal.
Tyler, I'm so curious to see how St. Joe's Prep amends the playbook here.
Yeah, I mean, you need something. They haven't been able to do much on their side of the field so far today.
They have not stretched the field. Charlie Folk has been good off schedule, but he hasn't had a ton of opportunities on schedule. And 2 for 2 going to Kion Billups. 2 for 2 for LaSalle, keeping it inside 2 yards. And there's a flag that comes in after the play. Jet Harrison and Aiden Christie. I don't think we're going to see this on our feed.
Yeah,
it's on the near side of the field.
Yeah, I caught that. Harrison was clearly frustrated. Kind of started, maybe started the shoving, but, it was reciprocated on both sides of the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if they get LaSalle on this, as that was the last shove I saw.
Yeah, Tyler, it was a push, then a harder push, and then an even harder push.
Number 18 and number 22. So they are going to call that after the play. That's what I was waiting to hear. Whether those offsetting penalties occurred during the play, I'd argue that they did, or after the play, and that's what the officials said. Bad news for St. Joe's Prep, who got 1.5 yards on 2nd down and 9, and now it's 3rd down and 7. Down 10, halfway through the 3rd quarter, and as Yogi would say, it is getting late early here on a Saturday afternoon. They got to go now. Folk, pocket collapses, takes a shot. One guy open, nobody else there. Alston Frisbee makes the catch, and a huge breakdown in the LaSalle secondary.
Yeah, he's just wide open out there. It just seemed like a huge miscommunication. Both the safeties are talking on the Explorers side.
And that could have been a lot worse if he led the pass a little bit more. He was just wide open. No one was.
It's a touchdown
Yeah.
if he hits him in stride. Absolutely.
And I'll give that to Folk for getting that ball out because that pocket was good as collapsed.
It's one of those game-swinging type of plays. If St. Joe's Prep is punting that football, you feel a lot differently here. Kion Billups gets to the edge. Gain of 3.
And I'm surprised we didn't see this earlier, but I swear, the Explorers' one weakness on defense is attacking that outside in the run game, but it just seems like they keep going up the middle, where it seems like those outside runs are there for the Hawks.
Well, and honestly, up the middle, like you said, has been LaSalle getting pressure. Kyrie Mitchell, disruptive on this play, pushes that lineman back into Kion Billups. It's just terrific contact, balance, and athleticism to keep that play going. But again, I think you have to open this up for Charlie Folk here, and they'll do that right now. That's a heck of a catch. Threw the ball before Harrison came out of the break. He brought it in. First down, St. Joe's Prep.
Yeah, we haven't called Harrison's name much today at all. Good to see them get involved. That was a great catch from him diving back for the football.
We saw a lot of Joey O'Brien early on him. We didn't think it would be all day that O'Brien would cover Jet Harrison, blanket him. I wonder if they don't go back to that at some point here. And now this is O'Brien.
We also haven't
coming out wide against Jet Harrison on the near side of the field.
We also haven't seen much of Lucas Johnson, but Trey Hopkins and Lucas Johnson, the very talented quarterbacks, have 22 pass deflections combined and 42 tackles combined coming into this game.
That's St. Joe's Prep in a nutshell. Getting the leverage, offensive line, leading the way for Kion Billups.
Lucas Johnson also has 1 interception on the year.
Billups just so dangerous when he's able to bounce to the outside like that, get to that second level.
They'll set up the screen. Only one guy could make the tackle, and Cooper Halig did it.
That was going for at least 10 yards there without Haley bringing down his guy.
And I like this. JP Oates on the field, right? Very good in those situations where you rush the passer, pin your ears back. It's not his fault. He just hasn't been in a ton of safe situations, run defense situations. And so when you see him coming off the edge, it's a great play call there by St. Joe's Prep to use that aggressiveness against Oates and the rest of that defensive line.
Yeah, usually when it's too easy for that defensive line, you got to, have your head on a swivel. You should know that that's going to be a screen.
Folk, he steps up. He's got room. Spinning away, and he's got the first down. Needed 9 and got 10. And that is the Charlie Folk that we saw just about a year ago today.
Yeah, that's a heads-up play by Folk. He sees that Caleb Davidson is down on the ground. That gap is wide open. Really heads-up play from the junior.
And also a really good play by the reserve, Caden Oler, number 54. LaSalle wanted a hold. That's not a hold. He goes down on his own, that defensive end, Davidson, I think, for LaSalle. At that point, you just drop right on top of him, Tyler. It's a legal play, and it opened up the hole for Charlie Folk. Whistles everywhere. And LaSalle called timeout. I don't blame him.
I like that. That Frisbee might have taken that in for 6 there.
Take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Bob Long Sports.
The Adams Group are Philadelphia realtors with LaSallian roots. Keith Adams, class of '98, and Sean Adams, class of 2004, have over 30 years of combined experience selling homes in the area. Their goal is always to make the home buying and selling process as easy as possible for their clients. Reach out to Keith and Sean anytime.
out of the timeout. First down and 10. Folk again gets away towards the end zone. Touchdown. He's doing it again, folks.
That was the Charlie Folk drive right there. He just looked incredible. The movement in the pocket, his ability to extend these plays, his ability to run down the field. That was all Charlie Folk, and credit to Jed Harrison there coming up with a clutch catch for 6.
And
there's a flag on the field. So roughing the passer against Jamel Williams. They will enforce that on the kickoff. It's 17-13. And St. Joe's Prep, they stuck to their guns, Tyler. They hung in there. They did open the playbook a little bit for Charlie Folk, but did not abandon the run, and it worked out for them.
Yeah, I really like the aggressive play calls, like you mentioned there, Bob. Really needed at this point, giving Prep some life, heading close into the fourth quarter.
$17-14. What a game. Let's hear again about one of Charlie Folk III's. That's the dad, of course, our good buddy Charlie, who helped us to put this game on the air in concert with the Catholic League for free for all to see.
From Cherry Hill Mitsubishi, and the year-end sales event has officially begun. Like the 25 Mitsubishi Outlander with standard third-row seating and rates as low as 0% for 60 months, the choice is yours. Or the sporty 25 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross with standard all-wheel drive with rates as low as 0% for 60 months, the choice is yours. With America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000 miles, and 2 years free maintenance on all new Mitsubishis, the choice is yours. Located minutes from all bridges, stop in today and find out how easy it is to do business with Cherry Hill Mitsubishi.
What a game. St. Joe's Prep will kick this one off. 15-yard penalty on the touchdown throw from Folk. He got hit on the play late. And so Cochran, if he wants, can just bang this into the back of the end zone. Or do they get cute here and try to pooch something down there and get the coverage team deep?
And one of the people back to receive the kick is Owen Johnson. Owen averages 31.1 yards per kick return on 13 returns. He also took one back 99 yards for a touchdown in Ocean City against Malvern.
Our good friends from Eastern PA Football did a terrific article on Owen Johnson earlier this week as he continues to break out and be the next great wide receiver at LaSalle High School. Check out Eastern PA Football, particularly our buddy Dave Micah. Joe Santaliquito is down covering this game as well for print, and we hope you check them out.
Owen Johnson has 9 catches, 87 yards, and 2 touchdowns this game. And I believe it was Tyler that said this is a Owen Johnson legacy game earlier. And I voted him as the player of the game last week at Ramp Athletic Complex versus Father Judge.
A huge drive any way you slice it. And that should be incomplete. St. Joe's Prep wants the football. They jumped on it, but very clearly, and the replay will show the same. That was a forward pass from Gavin Sidwar. Doesn't mean it was a good play, didn't mean it was the right decision, but they'll live to see another down.
And there he is, Owen Johnson down on the field. Also, J.P. Oates limping. That could be a huge swing.
Yeah, it's a big play there.
The 1-2 punch.
And at that point, I think you go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, the passing game has been very good for LaSalle. Those two guys are a big part of it. They have not been able to run the ball consistently here this afternoon.
And it looks like it's just a cramp for Owen Johnson.
In your medical opinion, Jack?
No, I agree the way he's getting stretched out.
Yep.
I never like to speculate, but Oates is the one I'm more concerned about. He's playing both ways today. He's done a pretty good job.
Not leaving anything in the chamber, no doubt about it.
That last drive by St. Joseph's Prep lasted 9 plays and 4 minutes and 53 seconds. They gained 77 total yards. Some key stats. Charlie Folk went 4 for 4 for 47 yards and a touchdown. Jed Harrison had 2 receptions for 27 yards. The 2 receptions were the first 2 catches. Charlie Folk to Harrison, 20-yard touchdown to end the drive.
This is only the third offensive drive of the second half. We're sitting here with 95 seconds to play. They'll go to the ground and just nothing doing. Talley comes up from his defensive back position to make the play, but a couple of guys stringing that out.
Yeah, you see Trey Hopkins checked in here, went to crash down, missed his block. It just looked like 3 missed blocks there as those red helmets just converged.
Well, and St. Joe's Prep has been looking for that third linebacker. Tyler, we called the St. Joe's Prep Roman Catholic game earlier in the year. Chase Winterborn, number 42, did a great job. Again, they are challenging these LaSalle offensive linemen that are trying to get out in the blocking scheme, and Winterborn, again, beat the right side of that line, trying to get out to deliver the block. Third down, 11 yards to go. Line to gain is the 30. And one of those momentum moments here from Villanova. Free rusher, Sidwar, into the flat. Ryan Fandozzi. He gets decked, but boy, is that going to feel good getting up.
Points for the first down marker. Man, Fandozzi, the defensive player, looking for contact there. Easily could have ran out of bounds after getting the first down, but he wanted to make his presence feel known.
And Bob, you're the one that relayed this information to us, but you said that mid-last year, Ryan Fandozzi changed his number so that he could play offense.
He was wearing number 67 for the first half of the year, and we got a nondescript email. Myself, Huck Palmer, he's a statistician for the league, saying, hey, going forward, Ryan Fandozzi, 44. And that's a take-it-as-you-will type moment. What a big play that was. They'll back it up 5 yards. And again, a big part of the reason you would think that he's out there right now is because of those 2 injuries to the wide receiver a play or 2 ago.
Yeah, Owen Johnson's got his helmet back on. He's doing a little stretch. He looks ready to go. JP Oates looks like he's got a ways to go as Dave Crow hits him with a Theragun.
Yeah, now we see the freshman receiver, Jordan Reed.
Yeah, first snap of the day. First snap, really, other than late action when a game's been out of reach. So LaSalle is going deep into the personnel right now.
And Jordan Reed had that amazing touchdown catch at Father Judge last week. It was a great ball from backup quarterback, sophomore Luke Gordon.
And as good a camera work as we've ever had
that
on
was
this
amazing.
broadcast. Just clipping the top of that roof in the shed at Father Judge to make that play.
And like I mentioned at that game, we needed Joe O'Brien's roofing company to fix that roof for us so we can get up there next time.
Josh Simmons comes into the contest. So Ozzie Nelson not on the field. That's Simmons' first snap on the offensive side of the ball here tonight.
And if I'm the Explorers, I'm just letting this clock run out. Buy some time for your guys to get healthy on the sideline. Looks like that's what they're going to do.
That will be the end of the third quarter. This portion of today's game brought to you by RMJ Mechanical. Jason Nitz, the owner, also has a son in the St. Joe's Prep Hawks. Big fan of what his business does, and big fan of folks that allow us to do this for high school athletes, to put a free broadcast out there on the air. So if you have a shore home and you're looking for plumbing work, for electrical work, reach out to Jason Nitz at the number below. Please tell him that Bob Longsport sent you. Thank him in advance for us for supporting high school athletes. Petrosky Physio, representing a significant advancement in sports rehab, using advanced technology, personalized care, and a one-of-a-kind culture for all athletes. With in-depth evaluation techniques and cutting-edge treatment models, their team gives athletes the optimal care returning from injury or surgery back to their respective sport. Appreciate Petrosky Physio, proud sponsor of the Catholic League. Jack?
According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, LaSalle has not been to the state playoffs in a decade. The Explorers lost in the state quarterfinal to eventual Class 4A finalist Parkland in 2015. On the other hand, the 3-time defending 6A state champion Hawks are looking to extend their streak of 9 straight PIAA Class 6A championship appearances. Since the PIAA, the state's high school governing body, implemented the 6A classification system for the 2016 football season, no Class 6A team has represented the eastern part of the state other than St. Joseph's Prep, winning 7 state titles in the last 9 years.
To start the fourth quarter, it's a big opportunity for Sidwar, who will take off with it and takes a seat. Brandon Lockley was teeing him up.
And real quick, just to finish that, Roken is a remarkable 46-1 in season elimination games, with the Hawks' last postseason loss coming in 2019 in the 6A state championship to Mount Lebanon, 35-17. Both teams have one more quarter left to make history.
2021, that game against Mount Lebanon. Yep, that was a heck of a team. Bob Palco coached that team from Mount Lebanon. Now he's a quality analyst and quite frankly has a lot of hats at Penn State University right now. Great times at West Allegheny for him, a coaching legend.
And once again, thank you to the Philadelphia Inquirer for providing that information.
3rd down and 10. This building's getting loud. Sidwar with time. Good ball for Trey Hopkins. Right when they needed it. Finds the soft spot in the zone.
Yeah, great job by Trey Hopkins. Also, perfect ball by Sidwar there as well. Hopkins found a nice seam down there at the end. Owen Johnson did check back in at the start of the 4th quarter. J.P. Oates still out.
Hopkins has been big all year long. That's a heck of a throw, like you said, Tyler, by Sidwar. That type of play where you got to square the hips, flip the arm there. Eli Drinkwitz, and for now, Missouri coaching staff all over Gavin Sidwar. Happy to have him come into Columbia. Sidwar delivers a high ball intended for Owen Johnson. Pretty well covered in the secondary by St. Joe's Prep.
And J.P. Oates is coming back onto the field. Good to see him healthy.
Reed comes off. Simmons comes off. Hopkins remains, but to have both J.P. Oates and Owen Johnson out there is a big deal.
Yeah, it's just tough to make that kind of change mid-game as well, changing the personnel. You got to change the play calls around, support those personnel. So it's good to have them back out there.
2nd down and 10, and I think 4-down territory here, depending upon what you do on 2nd and 3rd. Oates has the 1st down. Forget that. T total in the sideline. Down to the 23.
And he did not look like a guy who was just getting stretched out.
And you got zone coverage there. You can see it because you're looking at the St. Joe's Prep defensive backs and linebackers. Everybody's eyes are in the backfield, not on their given receivers turning their back to the line. And J.P. Oates runs a great route. Gavin Sidwar hits him right on the 2. Every play, just because there's not many drives left in this game with how the offenses are churning clock. Very important. That is caught by Owen Johnson. That's your play of the day. Ripping it away from that defensive back.
Back-to-back plays. Trey Hopkins, number 3. J.P. Oates, number 2. Then Owen Johnson, number 1. 3 for 3.
What are you going to do if you're Mason Talley? It's great coverage. It's just Owen Johnson being tougher at the point of attack.
And you can see Owen Johnson coming up with that aggression, celebrating. A lot of passion right there. Explorers are really glad to have him back in the game.
And Tyler, you just said 3-2-1. Now we need Zyke Scott to come out here.
Sidwar. First read was not there. Takes a seat at the 7. Gain of 3. And that's a mature play by Gavin Sidwar. Underneath, that's Lockley breaking on that. They keep the coverage up top on Joey O'Brien. We're actually going to watch this again in 50% speed because this is terrific by St. Joe's Prep. It all starts with Lockley. His decision there is going to allow that safety to commit to Joey O'Brien in a condensed area, and Gavin Sidwar has no choice but to take off with the football. LaSalle is trying to get that safety to bite Tyler. Heck of a play defensively by the Hawks.
Yeah, and like you said for Sidwar, you take what the defense gives you. That was a decent gain there.
Timeout on the field. One more look at one of our sponsors that helped us put this contest on.
The Adams Group are Philadelphia realtors with LaSallian roots. Keith Adams, class of '98, and Sean Adams, class of 2004, have over 30 years of combined experience selling homes in the area. Their goal is always to make the home buying and selling process as easy as possible for their clients. Reach out to Keith and Sean anytime.
trade. At KiaofCherryHill.com, we're offering up to $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book trade-in value for your current vehicle. Get up to $3,000 more for your trade. But that's not all. Shop our massive selection of tariff-free Kias. Upgrade your ride today at KiaofCherryHill.com. That's KiaofCherryHill.com. Up to $3,000 above KBB is based on KBB excellent trade-in condition. Deductions apply for damage, reconditioning, excessive wear and tear, and above average miles.
Back to live action. It was Alex Haskell who was injured on the play, helped off the field.
Yeah.
Second down and goal from the 7.
Yeah, senior defensive end Alex Haskell, the Syracuse commit. Coming into this game, he is
5 wide for Gavin Sidwar. He's going to take off for the end zone. Touchdown, LaSalle. He has used his legs all day long.
Yeah, just a great job. Back-to-back plays by Sidwar, using his legs, taking what the defense is giving him, showing off a little bit of speed there.
And is that left or right knee down? I don't think so. Keep it up. It's stretched. That's a good call. Touchdown, LaSalle. Chris Heck barely got that one off. St. Joe's Prep almost got the block, but it is 24-14, and that's one of those things there. I don't want to say detractors, but there are folks out there that said, well, you know, if there's something about Gavin Sidwar, really doesn't use his legs as effectively. And that's something that I think you're trying to save some hits on your senior quarterback. He's got a great future ahead of him, and you need him all the way till December. But in a big game, he pulls that right out of the toolbox.
And I think Gavin Sidwar is going to do whatever it takes to get this win today. So I'm not surprised that he's using his legs.
We asked, and some of you answered, but we need a few more. Let us know where you're at. Tweet at us at Bob Long Sports. Again, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us. Donald McGeary says the pool is closed, but the McGeary family's still watching in Montgomeryville. Go Explorers. Our buddy Drew Ansel says, hey, Disney, as well as Google, picked a tough time to get into a battle, YouTube TV and ESPN. But guess what? No problem. I'm watching Bob Long Sports and LaSalle and St. Joe's Prep. No contract disputes on our end, guys. Thank you, Drew, for checking in. Dave Micah from Eastern PA Football checking in as well. We appreciate him. And Chuck Hempshire checking in from Riviera Maya in Mexico. How about that?
I guess it's a bad time to bring up my contract, Bob.
Yeah. We have you until 3 o'clock today. A squib kick picked up by Messiah Acre. He's taken down by J.P. Oates. And Oates needs to separate himself right about now, just in time, because that had taunting written all over it.
Yeah, you see it from both of the guys. A lot of passion from both Owen Johnson, J.P. Oates. They were both, you know, a little banged up. Good to see them showing that passion, but you got to direct it properly.
Fourth drive of the second half. And Jack Burns, it's a 10-point game. What does St. Joe's Prep need to do to be successful on this drive?
I think they really need to be consistent on moving the ball. They've had some difficulties this game, and they really need to get their wide receivers open and get their runners down the field.
That was an odd play there with shifting happening right as the ball was snapped. I wasn't sure if any of that came from the offensive side of the ball. Maybe there are 3 guys that left a little bit early there. Again, we're slowing that down to 50%, but something didn't look quite right there.
And that was a very good tackle by the junior linebacker, Zyke Scott, who has 13 offers to play in college. Coming into this game, he had 51 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery.
Folk throws the screen right through the arms of J.P. Oates. Alston Frisbee stays on his feet and goes down. Might have even given up a yard by turning eastbound there. 3rd down and 2, 4-down territory for St. Joe's Prep, given where we are in the game.
Yeah, I thought he had the first down there, actually, and then he miraculously stayed up, cut back.
Yeah, he probably still would have been 1 yard short, but I think it would have been 3rd and 1 to your point, Tyler, instead of 3rd and 2.
It's a great showing of his ability to break tackles and to keep going.
And I believe I said this at Franklin Field, but why not say it again because it is so impressive. There are 19 prep players with at least one college offer.
First down, St. Joe's Prep. When you need something, go to Kion Billups. Billups, the Monmouth commit, effectively has been a 2-year starter. Started almost the entirety of last year when Isaiah West, one of the best backs to come out of St. Joe's Prep, was injured to start the year. A young man playing significant minutes at Ohio State as a true freshman. Billups putting his mark on St. Joe's Prep football as well. Good protection for Charlie Folk. He's got all day. And he goes right into the bear hug of Ryan Fandozzi, who tried to rip the ball out. Gain of 2 for Folk. Second down and 8.
Fandozzi's having a great day. Multiple big tackles. He had a big sack earlier, and obviously that huge first down on offense when J.P. Oates and Owen Johnson weren't in the game.
And that last drive by the Explorers lasted 11 plays and 3 minutes and 54 seconds. LaSalle gained 80 yards. Some key stats. Gavin Sidwar went 4 for 4 for 71 yards. He had 3 carries for 12 yards and 1 touchdown. The touchdown play was a 7-yard run by Sidwar.
Aiden Christie one-on-one against Jed Harrison. They go right to him as a result. And pulled down. Aiden Christie saves maybe a touchdown there. But again, and we're not one to question what's going on here, but Harrison, very few catches when he's been guarded one-on-one by Joey O'Brien. Joey O'Brien's playing center field there. But I wonder if that changes a little bit down the stretch.
I think it depends on what the offense is giving them. We've seen O'Brien shift out of covering Jed Harrison as he checks into covering him here.
Folk, he steps up and delivers out of bounds. Aiden Christie in there on the coverage. Good defense against Simon Colabardino.
A good thing they didn't look at Jed Harrison. He was open, but also Joey O'Brien had a pretty big hold there, I thought. Grabbed some jersey.
Yeah, those two have been going at it all day, and you can make an argument that they're the 2 best players in the Philadelphia Catholic League.
And arguably the 2 best players on both these teams.
Second down and 10. They'll run the screens, well designed. Kion Billups, though, nowhere to go because it's Aiden Christie getting off the block. Senior defensive back, track star. One of the better defensive plays you'll see.
I mean, they don't teach you how to tackle and track like that. That was a textbook tackle. He just hits a wall here. Great play by Aiden Christie to set up a 3rd and long.
Boy, they were asking Sean Barth, the left guard, to go a long way to make that block on Aiden Christie. 4 down territory, halfway home here in the 4th quarter. Loudest LaSalle has been on this side of the field. That is deflected. It is caught. Colt McAleer. He's been banged up all year long, and all he does is make big plays against St. Joe's Prep. Ripped the ball out late in the 4th quarter of game 1. That led to the victory. And this, could it be a game sealer?
And was that J.P. Oates on the edge that got his big paw up there? I think it was.
And St. Joe's Prep hates to see Cole McAleer.
He has been terrific in his time coming back from injury.
I mean, that is absolutely a massive play for LaSalle here, now being able to go for their touchdown.
Maybe look to get Azir Nelson some touches here.
I think that's right, Tyler.
Start running some clock. Not from under center.
That has been really the only area of challenge today for LaSalle. Nelson with a gain of 2.
And we saw Alex Haskell trail him there. Like I started to mention earlier, coming into this game, he has 23 tackles, 14 of which have been tackles for loss. He also has 5 sacks, 1 blocked field goal, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Syracuse is lucky to have him.
Now, he's not 100% right now. He is still gimping around, but you're not going to see him come off the field if he can help it at all. Also wearing the number 10, a senior leader in the box type defensive guy, always wears number 10. That's in honor of Mike Labor, who encompassed and embodied everything that St. Joe's Prep wanted in a defensive player. That's been going on for more than a decade. Gavin Sidwar again scrambles this time for 5, sets up third and manageable, and forces a timeout. I think, at least a momentary stoppage of the clock.
I don't think he needed to leave that pocket, but it worked out pretty well for running the clock, not forcing an incomplete pass there.
Yep, and he could have stepped out as well, but instead, St. Joe's Prep has to call timeout. That is a great play. The only question is, could he have gotten a little closer to the first down or even gotten the first down? I think that would have been tough with Brandon Lockley bearing down on him.
Prep burns a timeout here, but I mean, if I'm the Explorers, I'm going for it on 4th down as well if they don't convert here. That's just such a game changer. That is pretty much effectively ending the game.
I just think you're right, Tyler. I think what could change the game is something like a punt block. And to take that chance on this side of midfield, I think you'll take your chances with this St. Joe's Prep team driving the ball 55 yards down the field and then needing to either recover an onside kick or stop LaSalle a second time versus a one-play type thing that can totally switch the field and the momentum.
Yeah, I mean, we know Sidwar can boot it as well if it's, if they don't gain anything here. You could see something like that, but you got to try to convert the first down here if you're the Explorers.
All year they've gone to the air. I think you trust Gavin Sidwar to make the right decision and throw something underneath here. And they'll do just that behind Joey O'Brien. A lot of pressure on Gavin Sidwar. He had nowhere to step up into the pocket. And that throw sailed on him as a result.
Yeah, Bob, we have seen Gavin Sidwar punt 4 times this year, averaging 27.3 yards per punt. So I wonder if we will see a punt here. It's 4th down. They're still on the field.
Looks like the punting unit's coming out.
It looks like a portion of him is coming out.
Sidwar's staying.
So I think we will see a little Sidwar boot here.
I mean, there's just not nearly enough guys on the field. They got to figure out who's going to come onto the field.
A lot of confusion here. Nothing wrong with burning a timeout if you're the Explorers, I don't think. There is a lot of confusion on the Hawks side as well.
Snap the ball. Had a chance to snap it, perhaps. And a whistle came in. Offside against St. Joe's Prep is what's being signaled. If that's the call, it's a first down. My goodness. Hello, Notre Dame in the college football playoff quarterfinal. Running guys on and off the field quickly in a special team situation. Led to a misstep on Georgia's front back in early January. This has shades of that. And could that be what we look back to at the end of this thing if LaSalle can bleed this thing down further?
I don't know if either team really knew what was going on there. There was obviously a passing play there. That was snapped to Sidwar. He was looking to throw. Oh, my goodness.
St. Joe's Prep special teams has for 2 decades been the best in the state of Pennsylvania, Tyler. And they got burned there. So they'll go to Desmond Ortiz. He's got 2 hands on that football. I don't think anybody's going to take one hand off the football running the ball at this point here. Timeout called by St. Joe's Prep. And you start to do the math here. 1 timeout remains, I believe, for St. Joe's Prep. Just 1 chance to stop the clock here in. Maybe they take it on
I think they
the
just
next play.
burned their second one right now.
Right, so 1 timeout to go. You start to do the math here. You're going for it on 4th down if you happen to stay in the field of play on the next 2 plays. Maybe St. Joe's Prep calls a timeout on 1. You're going for it with 4 minutes and 10 seconds or so to play. And if you were to get that 4th down, you're close. You're within 1 more set of downs of being able to bleed this clock up 2 scores and to beat St. Joe's Prep in the postseason for the first time since 2015.
I think there's a very high chance that the Hawks do not get the ball again. I think if you're, Owen Johnson comes down with it with a chance to score, I think you're sliding. I don't think you're taking those points. Everyone points at the ref on the sideline, and he just kind of shrugs. He's like, he didn't cross the neutral zone there.
Ortiz, he pulled the football out. Who got it? St. Joe's Prep thought initially that they had it. It might have been Desmond Ortiz. It just plopped back into his hands. Was he able to stay with the ball at the bottom of that pile?
I think Ortiz got it. He took it. That was such a favorable bounce for Ortiz, but I think you got to take the ball out of his hands at this point. I know that first fumble wasn't necessarily his fault.
And how about this? Think about when we're talking about a game of seconds here. It probably took 5 to 7 seconds to actually make that call and thereby start the next 40-second play clock.
Are you saying that was a tactical fumble by
anything
Ortiz?
But. That's a heck of a play by Brandon Lockley is what it is. By the way, we have folks, Tim checking in from Levittown, says go LaSalle. Looks like he's got a 3 TV setup going on. Of course, we're on the big TV. Thank you, Tim. Dan Boy says, good job. And with the student announcers, he appreciates what you guys are doing. Don't let up, Explorers. Andrew Bowman says, nap trapped at home with the little one. Go LaSalle.
So Josh Simmons did check in there, I think, right? Number 8. For Des Ortiz. And the Explorers did call timeout.
At least for now. Timeout called by LaSalle.
And some individual stats so far this game. Gavin Sidwar is 23 for 29 for 240 yards. He has hit 7 different receivers. Joey O'Brien is 4 for 43, meaning 4 receptions for 43 yards. Owen Johnson has 10 receptions for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. For St. Joseph's Prep, Charlie Folk is 11 for 14 for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Kion Billups has 12 carries for 54 yards. Austin Frisbee has 5 carries for 37 yards. And Jed Harrison has 3 receptions for 39 yards. Thank you again to Mr. McCartney for keeping these stats and for Nate Richards, a sophomore at LaSalle College High School, for sending them up to me.
3rd down, 7 yards to go. Again, you would think 4 down territory. St. Joe's Prep has 1 more timeout. They'll hand it to Josh Simmons. He is pirouetted down at the original line of scrimmage. 4th down, timeout St. Joe's Prep. 3 minutes and 59 seconds to play. One more look here. And again, St. Joe's Prep doing everything they can to hit hard, go for the football, and try to punch the ball out. Not that time, though. This portion of today's game brought to you by RMJ Mechanical. Appreciate RMJ Mechanical and owner Jason Nitz for helping to put this game out on the ether for free for everyone to view and to showcase the student athletes of the Philadelphia Catholic League. Thanks also to the league for being open to this. Plumbing and electrical down at the shore. So if you have a beach home, I'm sure you guys are trying to close up those homes first. Before you do, make sure everything is good with your plumbing and your electrical work down there, and make sure to keep this card handy next time you have a need. 856-521-0774. And Petrosky Physio, representing a significant advancement in sports rehab. Using advanced technology, personalized care, and one-of-a-kind culture for all athletes. In-depth evaluation techniques, cutting-edge treatment models, the team gives athletes the optimal care returning from injury or surgery back to their sport. They are in a punt formation, LaSalle is. Gavin Sidwar will be the one to punt it away. Instead, he throws the football for J.P. Oates. Oates goes out of bounds, but it's the play of the game.
I'm glad we weren't robbed of that, because that was definitely what they were trying to do earlier with Sidwar. Really cool play design.
I mean, that is a play where you got to have some stones to call. 3:59 to go in the game at the time you call that. And put the ball in your best player's hands. I know he trusts the defense, but he's going to have to be able to trust the defense if they get on the field at all with a heck of a lot less time to go because of a gutsy call by Brett Gordon in the special teams unit.
Yeah, great job by that defensive or that special teams front there, blocking for Gavin. did a really good job. There was no pressure on him. Gave him that time to throw to Oates.
Simmons. And start that 40-second clock.
And on that fake punt, we saw a lot of LaSalle skill players as well as Keenan Stahl and Chase Voris. We also saw the freshman skill player, Jordan Reed.
It's good to see Simmons be able to come back and take a run after getting some airtime on his last tackle.
I feel like it's always Simmons that gets flipped over, whatever. In the first St. Joe's prep game earlier this year at Franklin Field, on a kickoff, happened to him also.
Simmons. Again, St. Joe's Prep going for that football. It'll be 3rd down. And LaSalle won't need to snap this until about 2 minutes and 25 seconds, maybe.
LaSalle does have 1 timeout left. St. Joe's Prep doesn't have any.
LaSalle's not really worried about theirs. They are trying to take this all the way down. And what do you do here? Do you get gutsy again and try to run something into the flat, or do you just run the football and then take a shot on 4th down?
Yeah, I don't know if you need to get too gutsy here. I think they've been gutsy enough, but we'll see.
And Brett's going to call timeout. Brett Gordon is with 1 second on the clock.
Good use of time out there.
What a game. LaSalle has come up with the big plays. Jack Burns, what stood out to you in terms of the big changes, moments in this game?
I think big moments in this game were definitely mostly from Owen Johnson. I mean, he was such a great player this game and really was key into LaSalle's point lead right now.
You're absolutely right, Jack. 2 minutes and 17 seconds to play, and they'll come out of this timeout. So, 3rd down 11. Decision time here for LaSalle. What do you do? No timeouts remain for St. Joe's Prep. They'll hand it off to Ozzie Nelson. Ozzie Nelson got to the 16-yard line, 4th down, 4 yards to go. They won't need to snap it till about 1 minute and 30 seconds. And this is a master class, guys, in bleeding this clock down. Again, it feels like there isn't a ton of juice. Well, not from the St. Joe's Prep side. They see this slipping away. It's slipped away for a little while now. That big 4th down play takes another 2.5 minutes off the clock at least. And with a 1st down here, LaSalle can win it. Hand off to Nelson. Nelson will come up short. Turnover on downs. 1 minute and 20 seconds to play. So St. Joe's Prep comes back onto the field.
Owen Johnson's pumping up the crowd, as he should.
Stay with us post-game, folks, as we will have interviews with the winning side. St. Joe's Prep has to move. Good catch by Amin Williams out of the backfield. He's got a 1st down, and he'll get out of bounds. Exactly what the doctor ordered for St. Joe's Prep. They'll need to score here quickly and kick an onside kick. St. Joe's Prep, the clock stopped, can take their time getting back to the line. Center of the field is open here, past the sticks, because the clock will stop after a first down in the field of play. Folk's going to have to get to that line, tries to get out of bounds instead. Oh, they give him the out of bounds. That's hard to imagine that his forward progress was not stopped in the field of play. A big hit there. And I also think he might have gotten the first down. That's the other thing. I think it's a missed spot. And the clock is still running. And now a LaSalle player is down with a cramp. That is actually a benefit for St. Joe's Prep. I think that one might have been missed by that crew, guys. Charlie Folk on the replay looks to get to the sticks, which should have, again, moved the chains and stopped the clock momentarily while those chains moved. I think it is the right call to wave that clock, but it wasn't done very effusively, if you will, by that official. And so St. Joe's Prep, I don't think, was ready. Clock will start on this official's whistle, and they'll be ready to snap it right away. 2nd down and 1 for Folk. Delivers over the middle. Good defense there by LaSalle. Intended receiver Rob Novotny. And whether Josh Simmons either got a piece of it or got in the eye vision of Rob Novotny, it forces the incompletion.
Yeah, clock's winding down here. Obviously stopped momentarily due to the incomplete pass, but only 34 seconds left to go. Hawks need to take a shot.
Folk. That's a terrific catch. Alston Frisbee. Clock will stop momentarily at 28 seconds as they reset the chains. They really should just spike the football. They're down now 5 seconds, now 6, 7 seconds since that clock restarted. Folk unloads it with all he's got, and Joey O'Brien came down with it. The drought is over.
His first interception of the year comes in the biggest game of the year against their biggest rival.
And Jed Harrison finally lets go of the football, and Joey O'Brien comes out, making it rain.
The drought is over. And I meant that in the Joey O'Brien interception range. It's astounding that he hasn't had an interception for as well as he's played. The postseason drought for LaSalle is over as well. They will advance to play in the District 12 Championship on November 15th.
A lot of hugs on this Explorers sideline. Tell how much this means to them.
One knee from Gavin Sidwar, and LaSalle has done it twice in a year. This time when it really matters. It unlocks the journey towards a postseason run in the PIAA. 24-14. And the defense, which was terrific and had St. Joe's Prep in a box all afternoon, fitting that they get the final stop.
What a game.
Jack Burns, how about a thought from you on the final here?
I think today was a great game. I think both these teams played well. And LaSalle just played a better offense and defense. St. Joe's Preps had some troubles moving the ball, and but they both did their best, played their hardest, and it was a great day.
Pat Burkhead.
Yeah, I thought LaSalle came out, and I thought they executed their game plan very well. It seems like they stick to what they wanted to do, and I thought the offense looked terrific. Gavin Sidwar really led this team all game and did what he needed to do to get the win.
And Jack McGuire.
The Explorers definitely feeded off the crowd's energy. The student section was electric in their camo/military, whatever you want to call it, attire. They also fed off Caleb Davidson's energy. We didn't get a Caleb Davidson cam this week, but he was going nuts. And so was Ryan Fandozzi, who had a great game on the defensive side and a big first down on the offensive side, and the coaches are loving it. What a way to win this game for the Explorers.
So let's grab one of you guys to come down with me. We're going to do some post-game interviews. Tyler and the gang are going to stay with us here and stay with all of you, and hopefully we'll get Brett Gordon and some of the LaSalle Explorers. I want to thank again Petrosky Physio, RMJ Mechanical, Sean Adams, and Charlie Folk III and all his dealerships for helping to put this game out for all to see. LaSalle will play the alma mater. And we'll be right back. Down on the field. Tyler, turning it over to you guys.
Yeah, we'll tune in real quick for the alma mater played at the beginning or end of every game.
Some final game individual stats. First for the Explorers of LaSalle, Gavin Sidwar, 24 for 30 for 263 yards and 2 touchdowns. For the rushing yards for the Explorers, Azir Nelson, 6 carries, 21 yards. Josh Simmons, 5 carries, 6 yards. Des Ortiz, 6 carries, 16 yards. Gavin Sidwar, 6 carries, 21 yards and a touchdown. Owen Johnson, 1 carry for 4 yards out of the Wildcat formation. Receiving yards for the Explorers of LaSalle. Owen Johnson, 10 receptions for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Joey O'Brien, 4 receptions for 43 yards. J.P. Oates, 4 receptions for 51 yards. Des Ortiz, 3 receptions for 22 yards. Jimmy Mahoney, 1 reception for 11 yards. Ryan Fandozzi, 1 reception for 13 yards. Trey Hopkins, 1 reception for 23 yards. For the Hawks, Charlie Folk, 14 for 19 for 131 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Kion Billups on the rushing, Kion Billups, 12 carries for 54 yards. Charlie Folk, 6 carries for 27 yards. Williams, 1 carry for 1 yard. Austin Frisbee for the receiving yards, 6 receptions for 44 receiving yards and a touchdown. Jet Harrison, 4 receptions for 46 yards and a touchdown. Kion Billups, 2 receptions for 3 yards. Novotny, 1 reception for 21 yards. And Williams, 1 reception for 17 yards.
Jack Burns, any final thoughts on the game?
I think LaSalle had some great playmaking today. I think they, on their, like an example with their hook and lateral, I think that was a great play. I think it was designed well. Also want to talk about how both these QBs were very mobile today. Sidwar even taking it in for a touchdown one time, and Charlie Folk was very mobile of moving out of the pocket when pressure was applied, and on their first touchdown being able to throw it to his receiver in the end zone to get them a touchdown. They both played great today.
And one of those great plays that you were talking about, the fake punt that pretty much shielded the game. Gavin Sidwar takes the snap, pretends like he's going to punt it, quickly throws to J.P. Oates across the field on a slant route. J.P. Oates takes it for the first down. What an amazing play. These LaSalle coaches and coordinators, I think, are the, well, not players, but players of the game alongside Owen Johnson. And for the first time in a while, LaSalle takes down St. Joe's Prep 2 times in the same season.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time coming as a long-term Explorers fan, being on here at Bob Long Sports. It's good to see what Brett Gordon was able to do in year 2. I know last year they kind of exceeded expectations early on and suffered a difficult loss, but really excited to see what these guys have been able to do. And, this is a huge win for them. Obviously, a long way to go in the state playoffs, but this was one of the biggest steps, I would say.
Yeah, and last year when LaSalle won the PCL championship at Springfield High School against Roman Catholic, they had a big celebration with the PCL hubcap.
And here we go with Bob Long.
Brett Gordon, what a game, what an afternoon. What an afternoon to be an alum, what an afternoon to be the head coach of the LaSalle Explorers.
I just said to the team, we've been building for this moment. Way we wanted to do things, and it was building all to kind of this moment today. And then to put it together in a way that I thought all three phases contributed significantly. Defense played very consistent all day. Offense had some really timely conversions and scores. And then we had a special teams wrinkle up our sleeve there for the end to put the game away. So I'm just real happy with the kids and couldn't be more proud.
Well, that's my next question. How about that special teams wrinkle? Where'd that come from?
We came up with it in the coach's office earlier this week. I'm always kind of looking at things and trying to figure out how can we create an advantage with an eligibility situation. Repped it really for the last week and a half. We actually called it twice today. Only ended up throwing it once, but kids executed it perfectly.
And then ball's put on the ground at the goal line. It's not a game of perfect. You've said that to me before. The defense got to stop. The offense came back, and you scored right before the half. What does that say about you guys?
We talk about adversity all the time, and when you play an opponent like these guys, you know that not everything's going to be easy. Respond to it. So, to your point, that was an opportunity for the momentum of the game to swing. Fortunately for us,
And I thought in all facets, making the right decisions.
He made good decisions all day. We've been talking for 2 straight years now about the opportunity to make plays with its
By the
feet.
way, and I'm sorry to do this, you got to be in that picture.
Be right back.
Yes, sir. Check that out, Pat. Check that picture out. We'll get the rest of him. But this is one that he's got to be part of.
And now Pat is getting a good angle of the celebration. Like I was saying before Bob started interviewing Coach Gordon, last year the Explorers defeated Roman Catholic at Springfield High School for the PCO championship, and they had a big celebration at Springfield and back at the LaSalle College High School. This year, when they received the PCL hubcap at Father Judge, they didn't have a big celebration because the one thing that was on their minds was this game. Now they have a big celebration with the hubcap.
Gavin.
Soon are going to have a big
He's
celebration
gonna go enjoy that.
with a new piece of hardware they haven't received in many, many years.
Hey, Joey, can we get you and Gavin? Can we get you and Gavin? I don't know. A lot of pictures, a lot of celebrations, and if you'll hang with us, we got a lot more coming. It's a who's who down here. Our buddy Mike Cabry is here from the media. We got Rob Johnson from LaSalle. We got some folks all the way from Pittsburgh, KDKA, if you can believe that. Our buddies at St. Joe's Prep, WSJP, are down here as well. They do an excellent job. Joe Santaliquido from Eastern PA Football. Everyone's here to cover this game and represent. These young men have represented themselves very, very well. Let's see if we can grab Gavin Sidwar. Can we grab you? As we wind our way through here post-game, Gavin Sidwar is. Gavin, probably the last thing you're worried about, but you went over 8,000 yards passing here today. A lot of records in sight. Yeah. But what I'm sure means the most to you is beating St. Joe's Prep. How did you guys do it?
Yeah, I didn't really care about any record all year. I had no clue I was going to break any until everybody started talking about it. So this is the only thing I was worried about all year, coming out and winning this game with my brothers, the coaches that.
I saw you. Oh, you know what? We'll let you go get your senior picture. Absolutely. Too much celebration. Not too much celebration, just the right amount here for this LaSalle Explorer team. How can you not feel for them and feel good for what they've gone through to this point? I want to thank you, Pat Burkhead, as well, back behind the camera, as we riff here on the field.
Sorry.
There he is. You're scrambling like you were out of the pocket today. Where'd that come from?
Well, the one time we went 5 wide the first time we played them, they rushed 3. And in warm-ups, I saw both their DBs bang.
Seemed like you knew Brandon Lockley, Alex Haskell a little bit, a couple of those scrambles when you went down. You gave him a little dap when you got up. How have you gotten to know those guys, and what does this rivalry mean? Not just the uniform colors and the institutions, but the young men that play it on both sides.
They're both good guys, good players. After the game last year, Alex's dad said something nice about me, so he's a good kid, like a great player on the field. Obviously, he's a handful to deal with, but he's a good kid. So just playing these guys twice a year, you're going to create some relationships there. But I'm not friends with them when I'm playing, but they're good people. So it's all credit to them. They're great players and stuff.
How has this program, you've been here 4 years, that program right there, St. Joe's Prep, of course unhappy, wish that they had won. Were they the standard when you came in, the brass ring that you guys were reaching for to get you to this point?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. They were the standard. They won 8 out of 10 or whatever state championships. So when I first got here, that was obviously a stepping stone. We weren't built for it as a program and the work ethic and what really needed to be put in to get to that point. But when Coach Gordon came in, he transformed everything, just the way we worked. We lost last year to this team, and we were practicing, working out while they were playing games that night. So we would do whatever it takes this year, and we just came together as one. It's a group of brothers versus their group of brothers, and we knew we would come out on top. But my 4 years, this has been the game I've been waiting for. We should have got it done last year, but it is what it is. We did it. So.
Owen Johnson, let's talk about him. How about the career-type game that he had today? What does he bring to the table?
He's a player. He's a guy. Early in the year, and I would tell this to him, earlier in the year he wasn't mentally locked in. He was still an immature kid, but the growth he's had is unlike no other player I've seen before. The maturity, how he settled into this program to hold up to our standard. He's a guy, and we knew they were going to try to take Joey out the game. So we called his number. We said, you got to step up and be a dog, and that's what he did.
You have to walk me through that fourth down play. Little wrinkle up your sleeve, and rather than give the ball back to that St. Joe's Prep offense with 4 minutes, you take your chances, you scramble, and you find J.P. Oates on a fake punt. Walk us through it.
We were going to run it earlier in the game when they got the offsides or whatever, but we had a feeling when I put me back there, they were going to call a timeout or just play punt defense and be scared that we were going to throw the ball to outside guys. So we were practicing all week. We had a bunch of pass plays off that. It wasn't just a JP, but he's at tackle, and we had a formation to get him eligible. So that's all Coach Gordon right there. He came into a meeting one day and said it, and I was like, all right, we're going to do it. And he was wide open. So that's all credit to him, and it won us the game, so we could take a knee.
Congratulations, Gavin. You have an extra week bye to come down from this victory. You'll be back at it in the district final, but do take a night to enjoy this. You guys all deserve it, and thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Gavin Sidwar with us. well earned. Let's see who else we can find here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get Joey or not. Keep following me here. You guys see Joey by chance? There he is. Let's grab. Again, hopefully you folks don't mind the riff here. Hey, Grayson, can we grab you for a postgame?
Hold on 1 sec.
So we got Grayson McHugh with us, Notre Dame commit, big left tackle, protecting Gavin Sidwar's blind side all year long. How does this feel?
This is great. I mean, all the hard work.
It was doing that with Brett Gordon earlier.
We've striven for and all the coaches have instilled in us. It's finally starting to show, and soon enough, everybody will know it.
Right here.
He did a great job. Josh Simmons on a play, so it felt nice.
Where you can really reflect back. You have work to do, but there is something and beating them twice in a year and finally getting over that hump in the postseason. Is there any party that now on what the journey's been like?
It's been rough this year, especially being injured, but I mean, the whole goal you see, like when I got hurt, the first thing was circle these 2 games on my calendar. That's all you gotta do. You beat this team twice, you're doing pretty well. So we all know this game that matters. First one doesn't mean anything. Last year we won it, felt great, then felt bad end of the season on that. So first game, you gotta keep working, come back better. And we did.
Colton, congratulations. We'll see you in 2 weeks at the district final.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You as well.
I just said it isn't, the phone keeps cutting out.
Okay.
First off, apologies for any technical difficulties on those post-game interviews. Hopefully they went through on your end. Now to the game recap. the LaSalle Explorers dominate in the second half. Joey O'Brien comes up with his first interception of the year after having over 10 interceptions at the OT7 League throughout the entire summer. That pretty much sealed the game. And another play that sealed the game that we already talked about was the fake punt with JP Oates and Gavin Sidwar. Signing off from Villanova University on behalf of Bob Long, Tyler Kern, Jack Burns, Pat Burkhead, and myself, Jack McGuire. What a game.